2,000 years ago, the most powerful man alive kept a private journal. He never meant for anyone to read it. In it, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius coached himself on anger, on fear of death, on difficult people, on getting out of bed. This is that journal. Meditations complete, all 12 books, in plain modern English, read slowly for listening. Chapter timestamps are below. Book 1 begins now. Book 1. 1. From my grandfather Verus, I learned to be gentle and even-tempered, and to hold back anger. From my father's memory, modesty and a manly bearing. From my mother, to be devout and generous. To keep away not only from doing wrong, but from wanting to live simply, and to shun the excess that wealth invites. From my great-grandfather, that it is worth paying for good teachers at home rather than settling for the public schools. 2. From the man who raised me, I learned not to take sides at the races or pick favourites among the fighters in the arena. He taught me to work hard, want little, do things with my own hands, mind my own business, and not be quick to believe gossip. 3. From Diognetus, I learned not to waste myself on trivial things, and not to believe miracle workers and con men peddling spells and exorcisms. He taught me to take honest criticism well, and to give myself to philosophy. Thanks to him, I heard the teachers Bacchius, Tandasis, and Marcianus. I wrote dialogues as a boy, and took to the plain camp bed and rough bedding of the philosopher's life. 4. From Rusticus, I first sensed that my character needed work. He kept me from the vanity of the popular lecturers who chase applause with showy essays and sermons on virtue. I gave up chasing polished rhetoric and fine phrases. He taught me to write letters plainly, like the one he sent my mother from Sinuessa, and to be quick to forgive anyone who wronged me the moment they came back. He taught me to read carefully and not settle for a shallow skim. And through him I came across Epictetus, whose notes he lent me from his own copy. 5. From Apollonius I learned real independence and steadiness, and to trust nothing but reason. In sharp pain, after losing a child, through a long illness, he stayed the same man. He showed me a person can be both intense and gentle, patient even with slow students. And from him I learned how to accept a favour without becoming a servant to the giver, and without brushing it off ungratefully either. 6. From Sextus I learned kindness, and the example of a household run with a father's warmth. He showed me how to live in step with nature and be serious without airs. He never looked down on ordinary people or lectured those lost in common opinions. His company was more pleasant than any flatterer's, yet people held him in deep respect. He never showed a flicker of anger, yet he was the most tender-hearted of men. 7. From Alexander the grammarian, I learned not to be a nitpicker. When someone used a clumsy phrase, he would not pounce on it, but work the right form into his reply, so the correction landed gently. 8. From Fronto, I learned how much envy, deceit, and pretense sit at the heart of tyranny, and how those we call nobly born often turn out cold and short on real affection. 9. From Alexander the Platonist, I learned not to tell people I am too busy, except when I truly must, and not to keep dodging the duties I owe to friends by pleading busyness. 10. From Catullus, I learned not to shrug off a friend's complaint, even an unfair one, but to try to set things right. He taught me to speak warmly of my teachers and to love my children with a true heart. 11. From my brother Severus, I learned to love my family and household. Through him I came to know Thrasea, Helvidius, Cato, Dio, and Brutus. He gave me the idea of a society built on justice and equality, one that puts nothing above the good of its people. From him I learned to keep at philosophy without distraction, to be generous, to keep hoping for the best, and to trust that my friends loved me. He was so plain and honest that his friends never had to guess where he stood. 12. From Claudius Maximus, I learned self-command and not to be pulled off course. I learned to stay cheerful and brave through anything sudden, even illness, and to do my work thoroughly without complaint. Everyone believed him because he said what he thought and acted with good intentions. He was never astonished, never rushed, never slow, never gloomy. He did not force a laugh, fume, or grow suspicious. He was always ready to help, forgive, and tell the truth. He seemed born straight rather than straightened out, and he had real charm. 13. In my father I saw gentleness and firm decisions once he had thought them through. He was free of vanity about rank, tireless in his work, and ready to listen to anyone useful. He gave every man his due, and knew when to be strict and when to ease off. He kept his friends without tiring of them or fawning over them. He shut down flattery, watched the public accounts closely, and bore the criticism that came with being careful with money. He was not superstitious, nor a chaser of approval, moderate in everything and no lover of novelty. He enjoyed comfort plainly when he had it, and never missed it when it was gone. Everyone knew him as a sound man, who could govern himself and others. He honored real philosophers and gave way gladly to experts. Like Socrates, he could do without comforts and enjoy them without excess, showing a strong, balanced soul during the illness of Maximus. 14. From the gods I received good grandparents, good parents, a good sister, good teachers, and loving relatives. Almost everything I have. Though my nature might have led me to wrong them, I was spared, and I did not rush into manhood too early. I lived under my father, who stripped away my pride and showed me a ruler can live simply, without a guard of followers and pomp, and still wield power. I was given a brother whose example spurred me on, and children born sound. I did not go far in rhetoric and poetry. I knew Apollonius, Rusticus, and Maximus. Again and again I saw what living by nature really means, so any failure to live it was my own fault, not the gods. My body held out, and I was kept clear of Benedicta and Theodotus. Even later fits of desire were soon cured. Though often annoyed with Rusticus, I never did anything I later regretted. My mother, who died young, spent her last years with me. When I wanted to help someone in need, there was always money for it. I was given a wife so loving and devoted, and good men to raise my children. Through dreams, I received remedies for bleeding and dizziness. And turning to philosophy, I did not fall into some fraud's hands, or waste my time on endless books and hair-splitting arguments. None of this could have happened without the gods and good fortune. 15. Written among the Quadi by the river Granua. Say to yourself each morning, "Today I will meet people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and unfriendly. They are this way because they cannot tell good from bad. But I know the good is what is right, and the bad what is shameful, and that the wrongdoer is my kin, since we share the same reason and the same spark of the divine. So none of them can truly harm me, and I cannot be angry with a relative or cut myself off from him. We were made to work together, like hands, feet, and eyelids. To work against each other is against nature, and resentment is exactly that. 16. Whatever I am is body, breath, and reason, the master part. Set your books aside, stop letting your mind be dragged about. As if you were already dying, think little of your body. It is only blood, bone, and skin, a neat weave of nerves and veins. Your breath is only wind, never the same for a moment. That leaves your reason. You are an old man now, so do not let that fine part be enslaved, jerked around by selfish impulses like a puppet on strings. Do not let it resent the present or flee what fate has in store. 17. What comes straight from the gods, everyone grants, is guided by their care. And what we chalk up to chance still flows from nature, from that great chain of causes the gods set in motion. Everything pours out from that source. Whatever exists is necessary and serves the whole, of which you are a part, and what the whole needs must be good for each part as well. Let this be enough for you. Let it be your rule, and put aside your thirst for books, so that you die not grumbling, but truly at peace, and thankful to the gods from your heart. Book 2. 1. Remember how long you have put this off, how many God-given chances you let slip. It is time to understand the world you belong to and the source you flow from like a stream. Your time is limited. Use it to calm your soul, or it slips away, and you with it, and never returns. 2. Make it your steady care, as a man and a Roman, to do each thing with seriousness, affection, honesty and justice. Free your mind of other worries. You will manage it if you treat each act as your last, without vanity, without passion pulling you from reason, without pretense, without resenting what fate hands you. How few things you really need to live well. Keep these, and the gods ask nothing more. 3. Do your work, soul, but you cheapen yourself, and soon your chance to honor yourself is gone. Each person's happiness rests in his own hands. Yet your life is nearly spent, and all this while you have staked yours on others' opinions. 4. Why let outside events pull you apart? Give yourself quiet to learn something good and stop drifting. But guard against another kind of drifting. Some wear themselves out working, yet aim at nothing, steering none of their effort toward a goal. 5. Almost no one grows unhappy from failing to watch another man's soul, but whoever does not guide his own soul by reason is bound to be unhappy. 6. Keep these in mind always. What is the nature of the whole, what is mine, and how the two relate? What kind of part I am, of what kind of whole? And that no one can stop you speaking and acting in step with the nature you belong to. 7. Theophrastus judged the sins of desire worse than those of anger, and rightly. The angry man turns from reason flinching in pain, but the man ruled by pleasure sins freely with a weaker spirit. He deserves more blame, since anger can begin in being wronged, while lust chooses the wrong on its own. 8. Whatever you plan, do it as one who might die at any moment. If there are gods, death is no hardship. They will not harm you. If there are none, why live in a godless world? But there are gods, and they care. The only true evils, vice and wickedness, they left in our power to avoid. What makes a man neither better nor worse cannot harm him. Life and death, honor and disgrace, pain and pleasure, wealth and poverty fall alike on good and bad, in themselves neither noble nor shameful, and so neither good nor bad. 9. Consider how fast all things dissolve. Bodies scatter back into the world, their memories fade into time. Look hard at what the senses chase, the things that lure with pleasure, frighten with pain, or dazzle with show, and see how cheap, how fragile, how empty of life. 10. A person of good sense looks at those whose praise gives honor, and asks what they truly are. He looks at death, sets aside the fears we drape over it, and sees only a work of nature. To fear that is childish. Death is not only natural, it serves nature. 11. Think how a man is joined to God, and by which part of himself. Nothing is more pitiful than a soul that ranges over everything, prying into the earth and into other men's thoughts, yet never sees it is enough to tend the spirit within and serve it. That service means staying clear of violent passion, rashness, vanity, and all complaint against gods or men. What comes from the gods deserves respect. What comes from men, your kin, deserves your love, and sometimes your pity, since they cannot tell good from bad, blind as if to black and white. 12. Even if you lived 10,000 years, remember, no one loses any life but the one he lives now, and lives none but the one he loses moment by moment. So the longest life and the shortest come to the same end. The present is all anyone has, equal for all, and all we ever lose, since no one can lose a past or future he does not hold. And all time is of one kind, endlessly repeating, so 100 years or forever shows you the same. 13. Remember that everything is opinion. The truths spoken to Monimus the cynic are plain, and so is their use, if you take the serious in them along with the pleasant. 14. A soul wrongs itself first when it resents what happens, for to resent anything is to break from the nature that holds all natures within it. Second, when it turns against another or wishes him harm, as angry souls do. Third, when pleasure or pain masters it. Fourth, when it plays false, saying or doing anything behind a mask. Fifth, when it acts at random, with no aim, though even the smallest act should serve an end. And the end of thinking creatures is to obey the reason and law of the oldest commonwealth. 15. A man's lifetime is a point. His body flows away, his senses dim, his flesh decays. His soul is restless, fortune uncertain, fame doubtful. The body's things are a running stream, the soul's a dream and vapour. Life is a battle and a stay in a foreign land, and the fame that follows is only forgetting. What then can guide us? Philosophy alone. It means keeping the spirit within safe from insult and injury, above pain and pleasure, doing nothing rashly or falsely, depending on yourself and your own acts, welcoming all that happens as coming from the source you came from, and above all, awaiting death calmly, even gladly, as nothing but the parting of the elements each creature is made of. If the elements take no harm in their endless change, why fear the change we share? It is natural, and nothing natural can be evil. Written at Carnuntum. Book 3. 1. Don't just notice that your life shrinks a little each day. Notice this too, even a long life gives no guarantee your mind stays sharp enough to understand the world and manage your affairs. The body may keep breathing and wanting and feeling, but the power to use yourself well, to judge rightly, to correct a false impression, even to weigh whether to live on, can fade before you die. So don't delay. Each day you are nearer death, and the part of you that grasps the truth is wearing down while you wait. 2. Whatever happens naturally carries something pleasing in it. A baking loaf's crust splits in ways no baker planned, yet those rough edges please us. Figs are ripest as they shrivel, olives loveliest just before they spoil. The droop of heavy grapes, a lion's brow, foam on a boar's mouth, alone far from beautiful. Yet from nature they gain their own grace. Look deeply, and almost nothing will fail to delight you. You'll find beauty in old age and in 100 plain things if you have the eyes for it. But only one at home with nature will. 3. Hippocrates cured many, then fell sick and died. Astrologers foretold deaths, then met their own. Alexander, Pompey, and Caesar levelled cities and armies, then lost their own lives. Heraclitus wrote of the fire that ends the world, then died, swollen and caked in filth. Lice killed Democritus, wicked men killed Socrates. So what? You boarded, sailed, reached shore. Step off. If there's another life, the gods are there too. If nothing remains, you're done with pain and pleasure, done serving this poor shell, so much lower than the mind it served. 4. Don't waste what's left of your days on other people, unless it serves the common good. Wondering what a man does, says, or schemes only pulls you from your own mind. Keep your thoughts free of anything idle, and above all, anything spiteful or prying. Think only what you could answer plainly if suddenly asked, "What's on your mind?" The answer should show something honest and peaceable, fit for a social being who cares nothing for pleasure, envy, or suspicion. Such a person serves the God within him, unstained by pleasure, unbroken by pain, wronged by no one, but least of all himself. An athlete in the greatest contest, never thrown by his passions. He welcomes whatever comes, since every portion assigned us is necessary and useful. He knows every rational being is kin, and caring for all fits our nature. He accepts praise only from those who live by nature, not from people who can't even approve of themselves. 5. Do nothing unwillingly, nothing against the common good, nothing without thought, nothing while inwardly resisting. Don't dress your thoughts in fancy language. Don't be a big talker or a busybody. Let the God within you find that it governs a real man, mature, sociable, a Roman, a leader. One who has arranged his life like a soldier, waiting for the trumpet to sound retreat. Someone who needs no oath to be believed, and no witness to vouch for him. 6. Be cheerful, and don't lean on anyone else's help or comfort for your peace of mind. Stand upright on your own, not propped up by others. 7. If you find anything better than justice, truth, self-control, and courage, better than a mind content to act rightly and accept whatever the fates send, then turn to it with all your heart. But if nothing tops the spirit within you, nothing better than mastering your desires, weighing impressions before you act, and, as Socrates said, pulling free of the senses to give yourself to the gods and to people, then let nothing else compete. Let applause, honour, riches or pleasure charm you even a little, and they take over and steer you off course. Choose the highest good freely and hold to it. What's best is what's useful to you as a rational being, not merely as an animal. Don't let appearances fool your judgment. 8. Never call anything useful if it would make you break your word. Lose your self-respect, hate someone, deceive, or crave what needs walls and curtains to hide. Whoever puts his own mind first never wails or groans, never needs solitude or crowds, and lives free of both fear and longing. Whether he keeps his soul in this body for long or short, he doesn't care. If he had to leave now, he'd go as calmly as he does any decent act. His one concern is that his mind stays busy with what suits a rational social creature. 9. In a mind truly disciplined and cleansed, you'll find nothing rotten, nothing false, no festering wound, nothing servile or showy, no grudges, nothing hidden. Death can never catch such a life unfinished, the way we might say an actor died before the play was done. 10. Guard your power of judgment carefully, for everything depends on it. Let no opinion form in you that goes against nature or against what a rational creature should be. Its aim is simple. Act with care, love people, and gladly accept whatever the gods send. Hold to these few things. Remember, too, that no one lives more than this present moment. The rest is gone or unknown. Your life is small, your corner of earth is small, and even the longest fame is small, passed along by feeble mortals who soon die themselves and never knew who they were, let alone who you were. 11. Add one more habit. Take each thing that meets your mind and describe it plainly, bare and whole, broken into its parts, naming it and its pieces truly. Nothing builds greatness of soul like examining honestly everything that happens, seeing what it really is, what it's good for, and what it's worth, both in the whole universe and to a human being, a citizen of the higher city, beside which all other cities are just households. 12. Ask of whatever grips your attention, what is this? What is it made of? How long will it last? Which virtue does it call for now? Gentleness, courage, honesty, loyalty, contentment? Then say of each thing, this comes from God, this from the chain of fate, and this from my neighbour, who acts wrongly only because he doesn't know better. But I know better, so I treat him with kindness and fairness, as our shared nature requires. Toward things neither good nor bad, I act by whatever worth my best judgment gives them. 13. If you attend to what's in front of you, following reason carefully, steadily and gently, mixing in no other concerns, keeping your spirit pure, holding to it without hope or fear, content in every word and deed with plain, heroic truth, you will live well, and no one can stop you. 14. As doctors keep their instruments ready for any emergency, keep your principles ready to understand both the divine and the human. Do nothing, however small, without remembering how the two are joined. You won't do worldly things well without a view toward God, nor divine things well without regard for people. 15. Don't fool yourself. You will never live to read the notes and histories you've been saving up for old age, so hurry to the goal. Give up empty hopes and rescue yourself now while you still can, if you truly care. 16. To steal, to sow, to buy, to rest, to see what must be done, which is seen not by the eyes, but by another kind of sight. Most people don't grasp what these words mean or how many ways they work. Body, soul, mind. The senses belong to the body, desires and passions to the soul, and principles to the mind. 17. Having impressions is common to man and beast. Being dragged by raw desire belongs to beasts and monsters like Phalaris and Nero. Following reason for daily duties is shared even by those who deny the gods, betray their country for gain, and do anything once the doors are shut. So if all else is shared with such people, what marks a good man is this: to welcome whatever happens as your fate, to keep the spirit within untroubled by vain fancies, to obey it like a god, never speaking against truth or acting against justice. And if no one believes he lives so honestly and cheerfully, he is neither angry nor turned from the path to life's end, which he must reach clean, ready to leave, fitting himself willingly to his lot. Book 4. 1. When your ruling part is in its true nature, it adapts to whatever comes. If it cannot have what it first wanted, it aims at what is possible instead. It pursues nothing without reservation, so even an obstacle becomes new material. A small flame is smothered by what you throw on it, a strong fire seizes it and grows higher. 2. Do nothing carelessly or at random. Do everything by the soundest rule of the craft. 3. People escape to the countryside, the shore, the mountains, and you long for these too. But it is simple-minded. You can retreat into yourself any time, and nowhere is more peaceful than your own soul. Especially when it holds a few settled truths that give instant rest. Do it often. What troubles you? People's faults. Rational beings exist for one another. Bearing with them is justice. And they do wrong without meaning to. And how many who once quarrelled are now dust. As for your lot, why complain? Either providence governs or atoms do, and either way the world is one city. As for your body, your mind need not be dragged down by its comfort or pain once it knows its power. As for fame, see how quickly all is forgotten. How vast the emptiness of time, how hollow praise is. The earth is a speck. So retreat into this little self and be free, as one whose business is virtue, social by nature, a citizen and mortal. Keep two truths at hand. Things do not touch the soul. All trouble comes from your judgment within, and everything you see is changing and will soon be gone. The world is change. Life is opinion. 4. If reason is common to us all, so is the reason that tells us what to do. If that is common, so is law. If law is common, we are fellow citizens sharing one commonwealth, and the world is a kind of city. From it we draw our understanding, reason, and law. Just as my earthy part comes from common earth, and my breath from its own source, so my mind comes from a common origin. 5. Death, like birth, is one of nature's mysteries. Elements combine, then dissolve back into the same elements. It is nothing to be ashamed of. It belongs to the natural order of a reasoning creature. 6. Certain things must follow from certain causes. To wish otherwise is to wish a fig tree would bear figs without sap. And remember, soon you and the one who wrongs you will both be dead, and soon after even your names will be gone. 7. Take away the judgment, I am harmed, and the harm is gone. What does not make you worse as a person cannot make your life worse or injure you, inside or out. 8. Whatever happens in the world happens justly. Watch closely and you will see it, not only in fair sequence, but in fair distribution, each thing given its due. So act only as a good person would. 9. Do not picture the thing as the one who wrongs you pictures it, or wants you to. Look at what it actually is. 10. Keep two rules ready. First, do only what your ruling reason suggests for the good of others. Second, if someone present can turn you from a mistaken view, change your mind gladly. But let the change come from justice or the common good, never from what pleases you or wins praise. 11. Do you have reason? I do. Then why not use it? If your reason does its work, what more do you need? 12. Until now, you have existed as a separate part. Soon you will vanish back into the whole that made you, the original reason from which all things spring. Many grains of incense are laid on the same altar. One falls first, another later. It comes to the same thing. 13. Within 10 days, you may seem a god to the very people who now, if you return to reason and principle, will treat you like a brute or an ape. 14. Do not act as though you had thousands of years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while you can, be good. 15. How much time a person gains by not prying into what a neighbour said or did, and attending only to his own conduct, keeping it just and holy. Do not stare at others' faults. Run straight down the line without swerving. 16. The one hungry for fame after death forgets that those who remember him will die too, and those after them, until all memory burns out. And suppose your memory did last forever, what is that to you? Nothing when you are dead, and little enough while you live. What is good is so in itself. Praise adds nothing, and blame takes nothing away. Does an emerald grow worse if no one praises it? Does gold, or ivory, or a flower? 17. Some say souls linger after death. If so, how has the air held them all from eternity? And how does the earth hold all the buried bodies? Here bodies decay and make room for new ones, and so souls, once in the air, are in time absorbed back into the original reason, making room for others. Think too of the animals we eat, buried in the bodies that consume them, Yet room is found, since they turn into blood, air, and fire. The real study is to divide each thing into matter and form. 18. Do not stray. On every impulse, do what is just, and always work to see each impression truly for what it is. 19. Whatever suits you, world, suits me. Nothing your seasons bring is too early or too late for me. Nature, from you all things come, in you they live, to you they return. A man could call Athens the lovely city of Cecrops. Can you not call the world the lovely city of God? 20. People say, do not take on too much if you want to be content. Better still, do only what is necessary, only what reason in a social creature requires. This brings the contentment of doing good and of doing little. Most of what we say and do is unnecessary. Cut it out and you gain leisure and peace. So at each step ask, is this necessary? And cut away needless thoughts too, since needless actions follow from them. 21. Try the good person's life. He is content with his lot, satisfied that his present action is just and his disposition kind. You have tried the other life, try this one. Reduce yourself to simplicity. Does someone do wrong? He wrongs himself. Has something happened to you? Fine. It was assigned to you from the beginning, woven into the order of things. Life is short. Make the most of the present with good sense and justice. Relax, but stay sober. 22. Either this world is an ordered whole, or it is a jumble, but still a whole. Can there be order within you, and nothing but chaos in the universe, where all things, though distinct, are bound together in sympathy? 23. A malicious temper, a soft one, a savage one, a childish one, a false one, a tyrannical one. What of it? If a stranger to the world is one who does not know what is in it, then a stranger is also one who is surprised at what happens in it. 24. He is a runaway who flees from reason, which makes us social. He is blind who cannot see with the mind. He is poor who needs another, and lacks within himself what life requires. He is an abscess on the world who, sulking at what happens, cuts himself off from the nature that governs all, the same nature that brought him here. He starts a rebellion who, by acting against reason, pulls his soul from the common soul of all rational beings. 25. One man practices philosophy without a coat, another without a book. I am half naked and have no bread, yet I hold to reason, says one. And I say, I lack good teaching, yet I hold to reason. 26. Whatever craft you have learned, love it and take comfort in it. Live out the rest of your life entrusting everything to the gods, and toward people be neither a tyrant nor a slave. 27. Picture the reign of Vespasian. You see the same things, people marrying, raising children, sick, dying, at war, feasting, trading, scheming, chasing office and crowns. That whole age is over now. Turn to the reign of Trajan, the same and gone. So many strained after some worldly thing, then dropped and dissolved into the elements. Above all, recall the people you knew who wasted themselves on trifles and neglected what their nature required. Match your effort to the worth of each thing, and you will not wear yourself out on small matters. 28. Words once common now sound strange and dead. So do the names of once famous men. Camillus, Scipio, Cato, Augustus, Hadrian, Antoninus Pius, all will soon be out of date, half legend. And these were the marvels of their age. The rest are forgotten the moment they die. So what is worth remembering? All of it is vanity. What is worth your care? Only this: a just mind, unselfish acts, honest speech, and a spirit that welcomes whatever happens as necessary and familiar. flowing from the same source as you. Surrender willingly to the thread of fate. 29. Consider constantly that everything present, and every memory and mind that holds it, exists by change. The nature of the whole loves nothing more than to alter what exists and make new things like it. All that is now is the seed of what will be. If you think seed means only what the earth or the womb receives, you are naive. 30. You are ready to die, and still you have not reached simplicity. You are still shaken by many troubles, still not free of fear about what may happen from outside, still not gentle toward everyone, still not devoted to justice as your one wisdom. 31. Look at the state of their minds, even the ones the world calls wise. See what they run from and what they chase. 32. Your harm cannot live in another person's mind, nor in any change of your body, which is only the cottage your soul lives in. It lives only in the part of you that judges misery real. Refuse that part such a judgment, and all is well. Though the body be cut or burned or rotting, let the judging part stay calm, and decide that whatever can strike a good person and a bad person alike is neither good nor bad. What comes equally to both is neither with nature nor against it, and so neither good nor evil. 33. Always think of the world as one living being, with one substance and one soul. See how everything flows into a single awareness, moves by one impulse, and how all things cooperate to cause one another, threaded together. 34. What are you, apart from that better divine part, but as Epictetus said, a poor soul lugging a corpse around? 35. Change can do no harm, just as coming into being through change is no benefit. The age of the world is a rushing river of events. No sooner has a thing appeared than it is swept off, and another takes its place, soon to vanish too. 36. Whatever happens is as ordinary as roses in spring and fruit in summer. Sickness, death, slander, treachery, all the things that gladden or grieve fools are of this nature. What comes after always follows naturally on what came before. Do not view the world as a loose heap of separate events, but as an ordered, harmonious connection, a beautiful correspondence, not mere succession. 37. Keep Heraclitus in mind. The death of earth is water, of water is air, of air is fire, and back again. Remember how people quarrel most with the very reason that governs all, and that they live inside daily, and how the day's events still seem strange to them. Do not act like someone half asleep, moving by opinion alone, or like children who do a thing only because their fathers did. 38. If a god told you you will die tomorrow or the day after, you would not, unless you were utterly small-minded, care much which. What is the difference? So do not think it matters greatly to die many years from now rather than tomorrow. 39. Meditate on how many physicians, after frowning gravely over their patients, are dead themselves. How many astrologers who foretold others' deaths. How many philosophers after volumes on mortality. How many commanders after slaughtering thousands. How many tyrants who use their power as if immortal. Whole cities gone, Hellas, Pompeii, Herculaneum, and the people you watched die. One arranges another's funeral, then is soon buried himself. See how brief and cheap all worldly things are. What is a person? Yesterday a little slime, tomorrow embalmed or ash. So go your way in peace, like a ripe olive that falls, thanking the earth that bore it and the tree that grew it. 40. Be like a headland. The waves crash on it endlessly, yet it stands, and the swell around it falls quiet. 41. How unlucky I am that this has happened. No, how lucky that this happened and I can bear it without grief, unhurt by the present and unafraid of the future. This could have struck anyone, but not everyone could take it without complaint. So why call it bad luck rather than good fortune? Can you call something misfortune when it does not thwart human nature? Does it stop you from being just, temperate, wise, honest, or free? When sorrow comes, reach for this. What happened is no misfortune in itself, and to bear it nobly is great good fortune. 42. Here is a plain but useful remedy against the fear of death. Think of those who clung greedily to a long life. What did they gain over those who died young? They are all dead in the end, all who buried many and were buried at last. Any life is short and passed with much trouble in the company of a poor body. Look back at the endless gulf of time and forward at another just as vast. Against that, what difference is there between living 3 days and living 3 ages? 43. Take always the shortest way. The shortest is the way of nature. In every word and deed, follow what is soundest. Such a resolve frees you from trouble, conflict, pretense, and show. Book 5. 1. In the morning, when you don't want to get up, tell yourself, I rise to do a man's work. Why resent what I was born for? Was I made to lie warm in bed or for action? Every plant, sparrow, ant, and bee plays its part. Won't you play yours? Rest is allowed within limits, yet you take more than you need and shortchange your work. You don't love yourself, or you'd love your nature and its aims. Will you honor the common good less than a craftsman honors his craft, or a vain man his applause? 2. How easy it is to push away every troubling thought that lands on you, and to be at once calm and at peace. 3. Judge yourself worthy to say or do whatever accords with nature. Let no blame or gossip hold you back or make you shy from what is right. Others have their own minds, pay them no mind. Go straight ahead where your own nature and the nature of all things lead. Their path is one. 4. I keep to my course, acting according to nature, until I fall and stop, breathing my last into the air I've always breathed, sinking onto the earth that fed my father's seed, my mother's blood, my nurse's milk, that has fed me for years and bears me up as I walk. 5. No one will admire your sharp tongue, you simply lack it. Fine. But there are other good things entirely up to you: honesty, seriousness, hard work, indifference to pleasure. Don't complain, want little. Be kind and free. Avoid excess and idle chatter. Is it really your nature that makes you grumble, fawn, coddle your body, and grow vain? No, you could have been free of all that long ago. The one thing to accept is being thought a little slow, without taking it too hard or settling into it. 6. Some, after a good turn, keep a mental ledger and expect repayment. Others don't, yet still count you a debtor. But a third kind does good and hardly notices, like a vine that bears its grapes and asks nothing more, or a horse after its race, or a bee after its honey. So the wise man does one good thing and moves to the next. Be that kind. Someone objects. A rational man should know he acts for the community. True enough, rightly understood, and that never makes you do less good. 7. The Athenians used to pray, "Rain, rain, dear Zeus," on the fields of Athens. Either we shouldn't pray at all, or we should pray like that simply and freely, not each man only for himself. 8. The doctor prescribes riding for one man, cold baths for another. So too, the nature of the universe prescribes for you sickness, loss, or hardship, arranged by fate to fit the larger design, one weave of all causes. Accept what comes as you accept the doctor's orders, bitter but healing. For even the harsh serves the whole, which would not have produced it otherwise. Be content for two reasons. It was made for you from the first causes, and the welfare of the whole depends in part on it. A whole you maim, cutting a link in its chain, whenever you resent what happens. 9. Don't be discouraged when you fall short of the right principles. When knocked off course, return. Be glad if most of your actions befit a human being, and love the path you return to. Return to philosophy not like a schoolboy dragged to his teacher, but as sore eyes reach for the sponge, for relief, not show. Philosophy asks only what your nature already wants. Pleasure ruins so many because it seems natural. But greatness of spirit, freedom, simplicity, calm, and reverence are more natural still. Worldly things are so obscure that even great minds despaired of them, and people are hard to bear even at their best. In such flux, what is worth chasing? I cannot say. 10. Comfort yourself with the thought of your natural end, and don't fret at the delay. Rest in two things. Nothing will happen to you against the nature of the universe, and it lies in your power to do nothing against your own inner spirit, which no one can force you to betray. 11. What am I using my soul for right now? Ask this again and again. What is my ruling part busy with? Whose soul do I have just now? A child's? A tyrant's? A brute beast's? 12. You can tell what most call good by a simple test. Name the real goods: prudence, self-control, justice, courage, and the word fits so well you'd resent any addition. But name the crowd's goods, and a man wants more, ready to add wealth and status. Yet he laughs when a comedian mocks the rich man's excess, so he half knows the difference. Only the true goods deserve the name. 13. I am made of form and matter. Neither can vanish into nothing, as neither came from nothing. Every part of me will change into some part of the whole, and that into another, without end. By such change I came to be, and so did those before me, back without end. 14. Reason is content with itself and its work, moving straight toward what is possible. Nothing belongs to a person unless it belongs to him as a human being. Outcomes are not required of us, so a person's highest good can't rest in results. And if outward things truly belong to us, it wouldn't be admirable to scorn them or do without them. But we praise the man who needs them least and bears their loss best, so they aren't really goods. 15. Your mind takes the colour of your habitual thoughts. The soul is dyed by what it imagines. So steep it in thoughts like these. Wherever you can live well, even at court. Everything is drawn toward what it was made for, and its good lies there. A rational creature is made for community. The lower serves the higher. The highest are made for each other, and the rational rank highest. 16. To want the impossible is madness, and it is impossible for the wicked not to do wicked things. Nothing happens to anyone that isn't natural to him. Others endure the same. If a fool who doesn't notice, or a man hungry for praise, can stay calm under such things, isn't it shameful that ignorance or vanity should outdo true wisdom? The things themselves never touch the soul. It alone stirs itself, and outer things seem good or bad only by the judgments it forms. 17. In one sense, another person is closest to me. I must do him good and bear with him. But insofar as he blocks my proper actions, he is no more to me than the sun, wind, or a wild beast. He may hinder something I do, but never my mind or will, which holds every plan with a reservation, and turns any obstacle to its purpose. What stood in the way becomes the work itself. The block becomes the road. 18. Honor what is highest and most powerful in the world, which uses and governs all. And honor the same within yourself, for it is of one kind with that greater power, and it turns everything to its use and governs your life. 19. What does not harm the city cannot harm the citizen. Whenever you feel wronged, if the whole is unhurt, neither am I, so why make it my private grief? Look at where the wrongdoer went astray, and remember how swiftly everything is swept out of sight. All substance flows like a river, nothing stays still. Consider the endless time behind you and ahead in which all things dissolve. Aren't you a fool to be puffed up, or worried, or to moan as if trouble would last forever? You are a tiny part of the whole, given a brief slice of its age. And if another wrongs me, let him answer for it. I keep what nature gives me, and do what my nature asks. 20. Never let your soul's ruling part be swayed by bodily pain or pleasure. Keep those feelings in their place. When they rebound onto the mind, as in one body they must, don't fight the sensation, that's natural. Just don't let the mind add the verdict, good or bad. Leave it at the bare feeling, and all is well. 21. To live with the gods. He does so who always shows them a soul content with its lot and doing what its inner spirit wants. The spirit Zeus set in each of us as guide and guardian. 22. Don't be angry at the man with foul breath or reeking armpits. What can he do? But he has a mind, you say, and could know he offends. Well, so do you. Reason with him, show him his fault kindly. If he listens, you've cured him, and there's no more cause for anger. 23. Where there is no brawler and no harlot. Why say that? As you'd live once retired to some quiet place, so live right here. And if people won't let you, leave your life sooner than your calling, but as one who feels no wrong done to him. Just say, here is smoke, I'll step out of it. And until something forces me out, I stay free, and my will follows the nature of a reasonable, social creature. 24. The reason that governs the universe is made for community. It made the lower for the higher, ranked everything by its worth, and knit the highest together in mutual agreement. 25. How have you behaved so far toward the gods, your parents, your family, your teachers, your friends, your household, wronging none of them in word or deed? Remember how much you've already endured, so that the story of your life is nearly full. Think how many good things you've seen clearly, how many pleasures and pains despised, how much empty glory refused, how many hard people treated with patience. 26. Why should ignorant souls disturb one that is trained and wise? Which is the wise one? The soul that knows the beginning and the end and grasps the reason running through all things, ordering the universe through its cycles. 27. Soon you'll be ashes or bones, and a name, perhaps not even that, and a name is only sound and echo. The things we prize most are hollow and fleeting, like children who laugh, then cry. Faith, decency, justice, and truth, as the poet says, left this earth long ago for heaven. So what keeps you here, if the senses so mislead and all things shift? Wait calmly for the end, whether it snuffs you out or moves you on. Until then, what should content you? To honor the gods and do good to people, to bear with them and wrong no one, and to remember that all outside your body and life is neither yours nor in your power. 28. You will always do well if you choose the right road, keeping true method in thought and action. Two things every reasonable soul shares: God's and man's alike. First, nothing outside can hinder its proper work. Second, its happiness lies in wanting and doing what is just, and there its desire ends. 29. If this is not my wrongdoing, nor its result, and the community isn't harmed, why should it trouble me? Don't be swept along by common opinion. Help people when they suffer ordinary loss, but don't imagine they are truly harmed. Like the old man in the play who solemnly begs back the child's toy top as he leaves, knowing it is only a top. So treat these things. And the shouting in the courts. Man, have you forgotten what these things are? Yes, but others prize them. Must you be a fool along with them? I once was. Let that be enough. 30. Let death find me when and where it will. I can still be a fortunate man. For the fortunate man deals himself a good portion in life, and a good portion is good aims of the soul, good desires, good deeds. Book 6. 1. The stuff the universe is made of is soft and workable. The reason that governs it holds no evil, does no evil, and harms nothing. Everything unfolds by its design. 2. Let it be all the same to you, whether cold or warm, half asleep or rested, blamed or praised, dying or busy with something else. Even dying is one of life's tasks. Do it well. 3. Look closely. Do not let the real worth of a thing slip past before you have truly grasped it. 4. Everything changes soon, dissolving into vapor or scattered apart. The reason that governs all things knows exactly what it does. We lack that view, so no wonder we are puzzled by much. 5. The best revenge is simply not to become like the one who wronged you. 6. Let this be your one joy, to move from one kind, sociable act to the next without pause, keeping God in mind throughout. 7. Your reasoning mind is the one part that can rouse and steer itself. It decides how everything that happens will appear to it. 8. All particular things are shaped by the nature of the whole. Either this universe is a random jumble that will one day scatter, or an ordered union guided by providence. If it is chaos, why cling? Scattering comes anyway. But if it is order, then I am not devout for nothing, and I trust its governor. 9. When hardship forces you into distress, return to yourself quickly. Do not stay out of tune longer than you must. The more you practice recovering, the surer you hold your part in the music. 10. Suppose you had both a stepmother and your own mother alive. You would be courteous to one, but keep returning to the other. Let public duty be the stepmother, philosophy your mother. Return to her often. She makes the rest bearable, and you bearable to others. 11. It helps to see things plainly. This is the corpse of a fish, a bird, a pig. This famous wine is only grape juice. This purple robe is wool dyed with shellfish blood. Strip things down like this all your life, especially when they wear a grand show. Outward splendor is a great trickster, fooling you most when you feel busy with weighty things. 12. Consider what Crates said about Xenocrates. 13. Most people admire common things, stones, wood, figs, vines. Better people admire living flocks and herds. The refined admire skill and craft. But the one who honors a rational, sociable soul cares little for the rest. He keeps his own soul rational and sociable, working alongside God, whose nature he shares. 14. Some things rush into being, others out of it. Even what exists now is already partly gone. Constant change renews the world, keeping the endless ages fresh. In this rushing stream, why fix your heart on anything you cannot hold, like a sparrow gone the moment you see it? Our life is only a breath, drawn in yesterday and soon breathed out for good. 15. What should be precious is not the bare life of plants, nor the senses beasts share, nor appetite, nor even applause, which is just noise. What matters is that in all you do, you move and hold back by your own true nature. Every craft aims to fit its work to its purpose, so should you. Grasp at other things and you cannot be free. You grow envious, suspicious, always accusing the gods. Honor your own mind alone, and you are at peace with yourself, easy with friends, in harmony with the gods. 16. The elements move up, down, and around, but virtue moves in a finer, more divine way, and its path to success is not easily understood. 17. It is astonishing. People will not speak well of those living beside them, yet crave the praise of generations they will never meet. You might as well grieve that those who lived before you did not compliment you. 18. Never call a thing impossible for a person just because it is hard for you. Whatever is possible and fitting for any human, believe it possible for you too. 19. Suppose at the gym someone scratched you and cracked your head. You would guard yourself, but not as against an enemy, just quietly keeping your distance without grudge. Carry that spirit through life. Many people we should treat like a rough opponent in the ring, avoided without hate. 20. If someone shows me I am wrong in a thought or action, I will gladly change. I am after the truth, which has never harmed anyone. The one harmed is he who clings to his error. 21. I will do my part. Other things, lifeless or without reason, or reasoning but misguided, will not disturb me. Toward people, since we share reason, I act with fellowship. And whatever I do, I call on the gods. As for how long I will live, let it not matter. Even 3 such hours are enough. 22. Alexander of Macedon, and the man who groomed his mules, came to the same end. Both were taken back into the same reason, or both scattered into atoms alike. 23. Think how many different things in body and soul happen in each of us in a single moment. Then you will not wonder that all things exist together at once in that one whole, the world. 24. If someone asked how to spell Antoninus, would you not calmly say each letter? And if he turned argumentative, would you shout back, or keep going gently to the end? Every duty is made of steps, like letters. Keep to them in order, and reach your goal without quarrelling. 25. Is it not harsh to forbid people from pursuing what they think suits their nature? Yet you do that whenever you get angry at their faults. They are drawn to their wrongs as toward their own good. It is not really their good, you say. Then teach them, and do not be angry. 26. Death is release from the pull of the senses, the tyranny of the passions, the errors of the mind, and the drudgery of the body. 27. If your body can endure this life, it is a disgrace for your soul to give out first. Take care you do not turn from a philosopher into a mere Caesar, stained by the court. Keep yourself simple, sincere, dignified, free of show, a lover of justice, devout, kind, strong for whatever duty asks. Honor the gods, help people. This life is short, and kind acts and a holy heart are its only fruit. 28. Do everything as a student of Antoninus Pius would. Recall his steadiness in acting by reason, his even temper, his integrity, his freedom from vanity. He dug into a matter until he understood it fully, bore unjust blame patiently, was never hasty or swayed by gossip. He was content with little, loyal in friendship, welcomed those who challenged him, and was reverent without superstition. Remember this, so your last hour finds you ready, as it found him, with a clear conscience. 29. Rouse your mind. Call your wits back from their dreams. Once you are fully awake and see that those were only dreams troubling you, look on the things of this world with the same clear eyes you turn on a dream. 30. I am made of body and soul. To my body all things are alike, for it cannot tell one from another. To my mind, everything outside its own work is alike, and that work depends on itself alone. It busies itself only with the present. Past and future are, right now, no concern. 31. As long as the foot and hand each do their own work, their effort is natural. So a man doing what is proper to a man does not labor against nature, and what is natural cannot harm him. And if happiness lay in pleasure, how did robbers, murderers and tyrants get such large helpings? 32. Even plain tradesmen stick to their craft and cannot bear to stray. Is it not shameful that a builder or a doctor respects his profession more than a person respects his own nature and reason, which he shares with the gods? 33. Asia, Europe, what are they but corners of the world? The whole sea is a drop, Mount Athos a clod, all present time a point of eternity. All small, all soon gone, all sprung from one source. So the lion's jaws, all poisons, all harmful things, are like thorns and mud, the necessary byproducts of good and lovely things. Do not see them as opposed to what you honor. Consider the true source of all. 34. Whoever sees the present has seen everything, all that ever was and will be, for all things are of one kind. Reflect often on how everything is connected, folded into one another, so that all fit together, linked by motion, agreement, and shared substance. 35. Fit yourself to the lot fate has tied to you, and love the people fate gives you to live with, truly. A tool that suits its purpose is right, even if its maker is long gone. But in natural things, the power that shaped them stays within and deserves more respect. Live by its intent and trust that all is well. 36. Whatever lies outside your own will, if you call it good or evil, then when you fall into the supposed evil or miss the supposed good, you complain against the gods and hate whom you blame. But call good and bad only what depends on your will, and no reason is left to grumble or war with anyone. 37. We all serve one end, some knowingly, others without knowing. Even those who sleep, Heraclitus says, are at work in their way. Even the one who grumbles and resists cooperates, for the world needed such people too. Consider which sort you will be. The one who governs all will use you either way. But do not be a shameful part, like some vile line in a play. 38. Does the sun try to do the rain's work, or Asclepius the earth's? What of each star? They all differ, each with its own task, yet all work together toward one end. 39. If the gods planned what happens to me, I trust their decision. Why would they harm me? If they planned only for the whole, I gladly accept what reaches me as a consequence. And if they planned nothing, still I may plan for myself, toward what fits my nature, to be rational and a good member of a community. As Antoninus, my city is Rome. As a man, the whole world. Only what benefits those cities is good for me. 40. Whatever happens to anyone benefits the whole. That alone should content us. But looking closely, you find it serves the person too. Let benefit here cover the middle. Indifferent things, health, wealth, and the like. 41. As the same shows in the theatre grow dull when seen again and again, so does everything we see all our lives. Above and below, all is the same, from the same causes. When will it end? 42. Keep the deaths of all kinds of people always in mind, of every trade and nation. Then pass to earlier ages, where the philosophers went, Heraclitus, Pythagoras, Socrates, and the old heroes, generals, kings, and Archimedes, even those who mocked how brief life is. All long dead. What do they suffer for it? And those with no name left, what are they the worse? One thing alone is worth prizing, to live in truth and justice, and deal gently even with the false and unjust. 43. When you want to lift your spirits, think of the good qualities of those around you, the energy of one, the modesty of another, the generosity of a third. Nothing cheers like living examples of virtue in the people beside you. Keep them ready in mind. 44. Do you grieve that you weigh so many pounds and not 300? Then you have as little reason to grieve that you will live only so many years and not more. As you accept the measure of body allotted you, accept the measure of time. 45. Do your best to persuade people, but if reason and justice call, act even against their wishes. And if someone stops you by force, turn your effort from justice to calm patience, using the obstacle to practice another virtue. Remember you set out with a reservation, never bent on the impossible, aiming only to hold your desires that way. That much you can always have. 46. The ambitious man makes his happiness depend on another's applause, the pleasure seeker on his own sensations. But the wise man makes it his own action. 47. It is fully in your power to shut out any opinion about this, and by that same act to shut grief out of your soul. Things themselves have no power to force an opinion on you. 48. When someone speaks to you, listen fully, giving no room to other thoughts, so that you seem fixed to the very soul of the one speaking. 49. What is not good for the hive cannot be good for the bee. 50. Do passengers complain when carried safely, or patients when well cured? They want nothing more than a captain who brings them safe to land, a doctor who makes them well. 51. How many who came into the world when I did have already left it? 52. To the jaundiced, honey tastes bitter. To one bitten by a mad dog, water is terrifying. To a child, a little ball is a treasure. So why be angry? Does a false opinion have less power to make people go wrong than bile has to sour their taste, or venom to madden them? 53. No one can stop you from living as your nature requires. Nothing can happen to you but what the common nature requires. 54. Consider what sort of people they try to please, what they hope to gain and by what means, and consider how quickly time buries all things, and how many it has buried already. Book 7. 1. What is wickedness? Only what you have seen countless times before. When something troubles you, remember, this is nothing new. It is the same old story, filling the history books, the towns, the houses. There is nothing new under the sun, and none of it lasts. 2. Why fear that your principles will die in you? They live as long as you keep alive the pictures of the world that feed them, and that is in your power. Whatever happens, I can form a right opinion of it. If I do, why be troubled? What lies outside my mind is nothing to it. Hold to this and stand straight. 3. What most people beg the gods for after death, you can grant yourself while you live. To live again. Just look at the world again as you already have. That is all it is. Public shows, herds, quarrels, a bone for hungry dogs, a crumb for greedy fish, ants toiling, mice scurrying, puppets on strings. Stand steady among it all, calm and free of scorn. A person is worth as much as what he cares about. 4. Take in each spoken word on its own, and each thing done, one purpose at a time. See at once the real point of each act, and ask what each word truly means, whatever it means in common talk. 5. Is my reason enough for this task? If so, I will use it as the tool nature gave me, without showing off. If not, and the job is not mine alone, I will hand it to someone better, or work at it with help toward the common good. Never be ashamed to accept help. A lame soldier who cannot scale a wall alone, but can with another, does not give up. 6. Do not let the future trouble you. If it must come, you will meet it with the same reason that makes the present bearable now. All things are woven together by a sacred bond. Nothing stands wholly apart, but all are ranked in order, making one world, with one God, one substance, one law, one reason and truth for all thinking beings. 7. Whatever is matter soon vanishes back into the substance of the whole. Whatever gives it life is soon taken back into the reason of the whole. And the memory of anything is soon swallowed up in endless time. 8. For a thinking creature, the same act is both according to nature and according to reason. 9. Straight in itself, not made straight by force. 10. Thinking beings are like the separate limbs of one body, scattered yet made for one shared work. Often say, I am a limb of the body of thinking beings. If you only call yourself a part, you do not yet love people from the heart. You do good as merely fitting, not as good done to yourself. 11. Let outside things fall as they will on whatever can suffer from them. What suffers can complain if it likes. But as long as I do not judge what happens to be an evil, I take no harm. And it is in my power not to judge it so. 12. Whatever anyone does or says, I must be good. As if gold or an emerald said, whatever anyone does or says, I must still be an emerald and keep my color. 13. Let this be my comfort. My mind, which rules all, will not trouble itself with fear or craving. If someone can force it to fear or grieve, let him try. But unless it bends that way through false opinion, there is nothing to fear. Why make my body's pain my mind's pain? Let the body complain if it can. The soul need not suffer unless you lead it there. The mind is enough for itself, troubled by nothing but itself. 14. What is happiness but a good spirit within? So what are you doing here, opinion? By the gods, leave the way you came. I do not need you. You came in your old familiar way, as with everyone. I am not angry. Only go now that I have seen what you are. 15. Is anyone foolish enough to fear change when nothing comes to be without it? What is more natural to the universe? Your bath cannot warm you unless the wood is changed, nor your food feed you unless it is changed. Nothing useful gets done without change. So your own death is the same kind of change, and just as needful to nature. 16. All bodies rush through the universe like things swept by a torrent. How many like Chrysippus, Socrates, Epictetus has time already swallowed? Recall this, so your mind does not fasten too hard on any person or affair. Let one care be mine, to do nothing unworthy of a human being. Soon you will have forgotten everything, and everyone will have forgotten you. While you live, love even those who wrong you, remembering that they are your kin, that they sin through ignorance, that soon both will be gone, and that they have done your mind no harm. 17. Nature, from the common substance, shapes a horse as if from wax, then melts it down and makes a tree, then a man, then something else. Each lasts only a little while. It is no hardship for a box to be nailed together, so why should it be a hardship to be taken apart? 18. An angry face is deeply unnatural, often the face of the dying. Even if you had wholly quenched your anger, do not stop there. Reason your way to seeing that all anger is against reason. For if you lose the comfort of a clear conscience, why go on living? All you see now lasts only a moment. Nature will soon change it and make new things from its substance, so the world stays forever fresh. 19. Whenever someone wrongs you, ask at once what he thought good or evil when he did it. Once you know, you will pity him, not wonder or feel anger. For either you still hold his view of good, and must forgive him, since you would have done the same, or you no longer call those things good or evil, and then how can you not be gentle to someone in error? 20. Do not imagine future things as if they were here. Instead, take some present thing you value most, and consider how you would miss it if it were gone. But take care not to prize it so highly that losing it would crush you. Wind yourself into yourself. Such is your ruling part. If it acts justly and is at peace, it rests content, needing nothing more. 21. Wipe away opinion. Check the pull of unreasoned desire. Fence in the present moment. Understand whatever happens to you or another. Break each thing into its form and matter. Think of your last hour. Where another's wrong lies, leave the guilt there. Weigh each word in turn. Reach into both effects and causes. Rejoice in plain honesty and modesty. Treat everything between virtue and vice as neither here nor there. Finally, love mankind, obey God. 22. All things move by a fixed order, he says, and it is enough to remember that. As for death, what follows is scattering, or atoms, or nothing, or passing on. As for pain, what is unbearable soon ends in death, and what lasts long is bearable. Meanwhile, the mind can shut off all traffic with the body and keep its calm. As for praise, look at the minds of those who give it, what they flee and chase. And as on a beach one drift of sand buries the last, so in life each thing is soon covered by the next. 23. From Plato. The man whose mind holds true greatness, used to contemplating all time and all things, can he think this mortal life a great matter? He cannot. Then he will not think death dreadful either? By no means. 24. From Antisthenes. It is a kingly thing to do good and be spoken ill of. It is shameful that the face obeys the mind, taking any shape it is told, while the mind will not trouble to shape and order itself as it should. 25. From various poets and comics. It does no good to rage at things that cross you. They feel nothing. You only make yourself a joke to gods and men. Our life is reaped like ripe corn. One ear stands, another is down. If the gods neglect me and mine, there is some reason even for that. Right and justice are on my side. Not to wail, not to tremble. 26. From Plato. You speak wrongly if you think a person of worth should weigh life and death as great risks, rather than care only whether his acts are just or unjust. Wherever a man has taken his post, there he should stay despite all danger, dreading nothing so much as to act shamefully. A real man does not cling to long life. He leaves that to the gods, knowing no one escapes death and cares only to live well. Follow the stars as if you ran with them. Such thoughts cleanse this earthly life. And look down, as from a height, on the whole crowd of the world, all mixed together, opposites making one beautiful whole. 27. Look back on former ages, the many turns of kingdoms and states. You can foresee the future, too, for it will all be of the same kind, unable to break from the tune already begun. So it is all one whether a man watches this life 40 years or 10,000. What came from earth returns to earth. What came from heaven returns to the heavens. With food and charms, men try to dodge death, yet all must endure the wind that blows from above. 28. He has a stronger body and wrestles better than I. So what? Is he more generous, more modest? Does he bear misfortune more calmly, or his neighbour's faults more gently than I do? 29. Where a thing can be done in keeping with the reason, shared by gods and men, there is no cause for grief, no harm to be feared. Everywhere and always, it is in your power to embrace what God sends, to deal justly with those around you, and to examine each impression closely so nothing slips in before you grasp its true nature. 30. Do not stare into other people's minds. Look straight ahead where nature leads. The whole in what happens to you, your own in what you do. Lower things serve the higher, and thinking creatures serve one another. So a person's chief duty is the common good, the second, not to yield to the flesh. For reason should master the brutish senses, the third to avoid haste and error. Fix the mind on these, and it has its end and its happiness. 31. Live as one who has already died, and treat what time is left as a gift for a good life. Love only what happens, what the fates assign. When trouble strikes, recall others it struck. They grieved, they wondered, they complained, and now they are dead and gone. Rather, use such events rightly. They are raw material to work on, if you aim always to approve of yourself for what you do. Look within. There is the fountain of good, and it rises if you keep digging. 32. Train your body to be steady, not fidgeting or slack in movement or posture. As your mind keeps your face grave and decent, let it govern the whole body the same way, but without any affectation. 33. The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. You must stand ready for whatever falls upon you, so that nothing throws you down. 34. Keep considering what sort of people they are, whose praise you want, what state their minds are in. Then you will not blame those who offend against their will, nor miss their applause, once you see the ground of their opinions and desires. No soul, he says, is willingly robbed of the truth, and so none of justice, temperance, or kindness either. Remember this, and you will be gentler toward everyone. 35. Whatever pain you are in, remind yourself that it is nothing to be ashamed of, and cannot make your ruling mind worse. This word of Epicurus helps. Pain is neither unbearable nor everlasting, so long as you keep to reason and give no ground to opinion. Consider, too, that many things wear you down because you are not braced against them, since they do not go by the name of pain, though they are its kin. Sleeping badly, feeling the heat, having no appetite. When any of these makes you sulk, say, "You have let pain beat you. Your courage has failed." 36. Take care never to feel toward inhuman, evil people, the way such people commonly feel toward others. 37. How do we know Socrates was truly so great a soul? Not that he died nobly, argued sharply, kept watch in the frost, or refused bravely to arrest an innocent man. What we must ask is what kind of soul he had, whether he sought only to be just toward men and holy toward the gods, neither fretting at others' wickedness nor stooping to any evil out of fear or friendship, took what God sent without complaint, and never let his mind bow to the body. For nature does not bind the mind so tightly that it cannot pursue its own ends. 38. It is quite possible for a man to be truly divine and yet wholly unknown. Keep this in mind, and this too: true happiness rests on very few things. Though you despair of ever becoming a fine logician or scientist, that leaves you no further from being generous, modest, kind, and obedient to God. 39. Free of all compulsion, you can run out your time in good cheer, even if people rail against you, even if wild beasts tear apart this poor pampered flesh. For what stops the mind from keeping its calm, which rests on judging rightly and using well what is at hand? Whatever comes, your judgment can say, "You are the very thing I was looking for, raw material for my reason and my kindness. Turn to the praise of God or the good of men." Nothing that happens is new or unmanageable. All of it is familiar and easy. 40. A man reaches full maturity when he spends each day as if it were his last. Never feverish in feeling, never numb and dull, and free of all pretense. 41. The gods are immortal, yet age upon age bear without anger such crowds of sinners, and even provide for them, so they lack nothing. And you, who last only a moment, take it so hard, as if you could bear them no longer. You who are a sinner yourself. It is absurd to excuse the vice in yourself, which you could restrain, while trying to stamp it out in others, which is impossible. 42. Whatever my reasoning, social self meets that offers nothing for reason or for kindness, it rightly judges beneath itself. 43. When you have done good and another has benefited, why look like a fool for some third thing besides, that others should see it, or that you might be repaid? No one tires of what benefits him. Every act in accord with nature benefits you. So do not tire of doing good, since it does you good while it helps others. 44. Before it made the world, the nature of the universe deliberated and resolved on creation. Since then, whatever happens either follows from that first resolve, or, if the world's ruling reason cares for particulars, then its reasoning creatures are surely its special care. Dwell on this often, it will do much for your peace of mind. Book 8. 1. Here is a cure for vanity. You can no longer claim to have lived a philosopher's life straight through. You fell short too often to reclaim the title. So, drop reputation. Just live what's left as your nature asks. You know by now that happiness was not in clever arguments, wealth, honor, or pleasure, but in doing what a human is made to do, by holding right beliefs. Nothing is truly good but what makes you just, self-controlled, brave, and generous. Nothing truly bad but the opposite. 2. Before each action ask, how will this sit with me once done? Will I regret it? Soon I'll be dead and gone. What more do I need than that my action be worthy of a reasoning creature, aimed at the common good, ruled by the same law of reason that governs God? 3. Alexander, Caesar, Pompey. What are they beside Diogenes, Heraclitus, and Socrates? These men saw into the nature of things, into causes and substance, and ruled themselves. The others ruled by force, and were slaves to all they got wrong. 4. People will keep doing what they do, even if you hang yourself in protest. First, don't let it disturb you. All things unfold by the nature of the whole, and soon end unremembered. Look at Augustus, already forgotten. Second, fix your mind on the thing itself. You are bound to be a good man. Say what seems most just, but kindly and without pretense. 5. What the universe does is take what's here, change it, and set it down elsewhere. Nothing is new, all of it familiar, ordinary, evenly shared out. Nothing to fear. 6. Every nature is content running its proper course. A reasoning nature runs true when it refuses to believe what's false, aims every choice at the common good, wants and avoids only what's in its power, and gladly welcomes whatever the common nature deals it. It is part of that nature as a leaf is part of the plant. But a leaf belongs to a nature without reason, which can be blocked. A human belongs to one that cannot, reasoning and just. 7. No time to read? Then practice. Not to wrong yourself, to master pleasure and pain, to rise above the hunger for praise, to feel no anger at the thankless, and even to care for them. 8. Stop complaining about the burdens of court life, out loud or quietly to yourself. 9. Regret is self-blame for missing something useful. But no good man ever regretted missing a bodily pleasure. So bodily pleasure is neither good nor useful. 10. Ask of everything, what is this in itself, its substance, its purpose? What is it for, and how long will it last? Examine all things this way. 11. When you struggle to shake off sleep, remember, acting for the common good is what your nature requires. Sleeping is what animals do too. What is more fitting, more natural, more your own, than living by your nature? 12. As each impression rises, look, if you can, at its true nature and reason it through. 13. Meeting anyone, ask, what does this man believe about good and evil, pain and pleasure, honor and death? If he holds such beliefs, no wonder he acts so. Being surprised at him is as foolish as being surprised that a fig tree bears figs, a patient runs a fever, or the wind turns against a ship. 14. To change your mind when someone shows you a better way is as honest as getting it right yourself. Nothing is asked of you beyond your own judgment. 15. If it were in your power, would you do it? If it wasn't, why blame anyone, atoms or gods? Blaming is madness. If you can fix what's wrong, fix it. If you can't, complaining is pointless. Nothing should be done without purpose. 16. Whatever dies, wherever it falls, cannot fall out of the world. Here it lived and changed, here it dissolves into its parts. Those parts are the world's, and yours too. When they change, they don't complain. Why should you? 17. Everything is made for some purpose. A horse, a vine. Even the sun would say, I was made for something. And you? What were you made for? To amuse yourself? Reason won't allow that answer. 18. Nature aims at its ends as much in how things finish as in how they begin. 19. Think of a ball tossed in the air. No better going up, no worse coming down. A bubble, whether it holds or bursts, is neither. Reason so about fame and death. As for the body, see how poor a thing it is, old, withered, sick. And fame. The one who praises and the one praised will soon be dust. You're praised in one small corner, not even there by everyone. And the whole earth is a mere point in the universe. 20. What you should study is one of these: the matter itself, the belief behind it, the action, or the true meaning. 21. These things happen to you justly. Why not mend your ways? Oh, but you'd rather become good tomorrow than today. 22. Shall I do it? Yes, if it serves others good. Does hardship come? I accept it, looking to the gods and their providence, the source from which all things flow. 23. Judge everything by one example. This bathing that eats up so much time, what is it? Oil, sweat, grime, greasy water, all revolting. And nearly every part of life is much the same. 24. Lucilla buried Verus, then was buried herself. Antoninus Pius buried Faustina, then was buried too. This is the way of the world. And those solemn ones who foretold others' deaths, where are they? Gone. Some forgotten at once, others turned into stories now lost. So remember, whatever you are made of will soon scatter, and your breath will cease or move elsewhere. 25. A man's true joy is doing what belongs to a man. To be kind to his own kind, rise above the appetites, judge impressions rightly, and contemplate the universe. Keep three relations in view: to the visible cause, to the first cause, God, from whom all things flow, and to the people we live among, and how we may serve them. 26. If pain is an evil, it lies in the body or the soul. Not the body, which by itself feels nothing, so the soul. But the soul can keep its peace and refuse to call pain evil. All judgment comes from within, and evil can't enter unless opinion lets it in. 27. Wipe away idle fancies and tell yourself constantly, if I choose, I can keep out of my soul all wickedness, lust and confusion. See things as they are and treat each by its worth. Remember this power nature gave you. 28. Whether you speak in the Senate or to one person, let your speech be dignified and modest, true without preaching or making a show of it. 29. Augustus and his whole court, his family, friends, servants, all dead. Did death treat them for all their grandeur differently than one ordinary man? Consider a whole family gone, like the Pompeys, and the words on some tombs, the last of his line. The ancestors laboured to leave an heir, and yet someone must be the last. 30. Draw your whole life down to a single act. If in each act you do what's fitting as well as you can, let that be enough. And who can stop you? An obstacle may block some effort, but nothing can stop you from acting justly, temperately, and wisely. When blocked, accept the obstacle gladly and turn to what's now possible. Another act arises in place of the first and fits just as well. 31. Take good fortune when it comes without showing off, and you'll let it go without a struggle when it's taken away. 32. Have you seen a severed hand or foot lying apart from the body? That is what a man makes of himself when he rebels against what happens or breaks the bond among people. Born apart, he has cut himself off. But here's the wonder, he can rejoin. No other severed part may. Such is God's kindness. Having made man free never to break away, he lets him, if he wills, grow whole again. 33. The universe gave every reasoning creature this power. Just as nature turns whatever resists her to her own use, so a reasoning creature can take every obstacle and turn it into material for its own purpose. 34. Don't let the whole picture of life's misery overwhelm you, or let your mind pile up every trouble you might face. As each thing happens, ask, what in this is unbearable? You'll be ashamed to answer. Then recall that neither future nor past can hurt you, only the present, and even that is small if you fence it in. Then ask if your mind can't hold out for so brief a moment. 35. Are the old servants still keeping watch at their masters' tombs? What foolishness! And if they were, would the dead know it? If they knew, be pleased? If pleased, would that make them immortal? Weren't they too fated to grow old and die? In the end, all this fuss over a mere bag of blood and decay. 36. If you're sharp-sighted, be sharp in judgment and good sense. 37. In the whole make-up of a man, I find no virtue set against justice to oppose it. But against pleasure I do find one, self-control. 38. Withdraw your opinion about what seems harmful, and you're as safe as can be. You? Who is that? Your reason. But I'm not just reason. Fine, then let reason at least not grieve. And if some other part of you is grieved, let it hold its own grief, if it can. 39. Whatever hinders the senses is an evil to the sensing nature. Whatever hinders the mind is the proper evil of a reasoning nature. Now apply this. Do pain or pleasure grip you? Let the senses deal with them. Did you meet an obstacle? If you set out with no reservation, your reason took a blow. But if you allowed for whatever might come, you're neither harmed nor hindered. In what belongs to the mind, no one can block her. Not fire, not iron, not a tyrant, not slander. Nothing reaches her. 40. Once the mind is round and whole, there's no fear it will ever change. 41. Why should I grieve myself, I who never willingly grieved another? My joy is this, to keep my understanding sound, turned away from no one, refusing nothing that comes to me as a man, to look on all things gently and treat each by its true worth. 42. Give this present moment to yourself. Those who chase fame after death forget that the people to come will be just like the ones they can barely stand now, and mortal too. What is it to you if so many voices hold some opinion about you? 43. Take me and throw me where you like, I don't mind. There too my inner spirit will be at peace, content in its own steady nature and in acts that suit it. 44. Is this thing really worth so much that my soul should be dragged down for it, made worse, cast down, or terrified? What could you value that highly? 45. Nothing can happen to you that isn't part of being human, just as nothing happens to an ox or a vine that isn't part of its kind. If it's usual and natural, why be upset? The common nature brings nothing on anyone they can't bear. If an outside thing grieves you, it isn't the thing but your opinion of it, which you can drop whenever you like. If your own character grieves you, correct your beliefs. If it grieves you that you can't do what's right, why not just do it? If something stronger blocks you, don't grieve. The fault isn't yours. But if life isn't worth living unless it's done, then leave it at peace, kindly disposed to all, even those who stood in your way. 46. Your mind becomes unconquerable once it draws into itself and wants nothing but this, that it cannot be forced. So let your fortress be a mind free of passion. No stronger refuge exists. Whoever doesn't see this is ignorant. Whoever sees it but doesn't retreat, there is unhappy. 47. Keep to the first, bare impression of things and add nothing. You're told someone speaks ill of you, that much is reported. That you're harmed by it is not. That's your opinion added on. Leave it out. I see my child is sick. That I see. That his life is in danger, I do not. Stay with the plain impressions. Or rather add just this, an understanding of the true nature of all that happens. 48. Is the cucumber bitter? Put it down. Are there brambles in your path? Step around them. Don't ask why these things exist. Anyone who understands nature would laugh at you, as a carpenter would if you scolded him for the shavings on his floor. But he has somewhere to throw the scraps. The universe has no outside. Here is the marvel of her skill. Within her own bounds, she turns whatever seems spoiled or useless back into herself and makes new things from it. She needs no fresh matter and no place for waste. She is complete in herself. 49. Don't be slack or loose in your actions, or quarrelsome in your dealings, or let your fancies wander. Don't cramp your soul and don't let it burst out wildly. And never be without something to do. 50. They kill me, they cut my flesh, they hound me with curses, so what? Can't your mind stay pure, wise, temperate, just? Like a spring of clear, sweet water. Curse it, and it still runs sweet. Throw dirt in, and it scatters the dirt and clears itself. It cannot be stained. How do I keep an overflowing spring within and not a stagnant well? By working, day by day, toward true freedom joined with kindness, simplicity, and modesty. 51. He who doesn't know what the world is doesn't know where he is, nor what it's for, nor what he himself is for. So what of the man who chases the applause of a crowd that knows neither where it is nor what it is? Do you want praise from someone who curses himself 3 times an hour and repents of nearly everything he does? 52. Don't just share breath with the air around you. Share mind with the reasoning substance that holds all things. It, too, is everywhere, diffused through everything, if you'll only draw it in as you draw in air. 53. Wickedness in general does no harm to the world. A particular wickedness harms no one but the wrongdoer, and even he is granted this mercy. The moment he wants to be free of it, he can. My neighbour's will and his body and life are nothing to my will. Though we are made for one another, each mind has its own domain. Otherwise another's wickedness could be my harm, and God did not want it in anyone's power to make me unhappy. Nothing can do that but my own wickedness. 54. The sun seems poured out, yet it is spread, not spilled. See a sunbeam slip through a crack into a dark room, it runs straight. Striking a solid body, it is broken there, yet does not slide off or fall. It rests and shines. Let your mind be diffused the same way. Meeting obstacles, let it not crash into them or collapse, but stand and give light to whatever will take it. Whatever refuses the light robs only itself. 55. A man who fears death fears either having no sensation or having a different one. But if there's no sensation, there's no sense of harm, and if there is sensation, then there's another kind of life, and no real death. 56. All people are made for one another, so either teach them better or bear with them. 57. The mind's motion is not like a flying dart. When the mind moves cautiously, turning to look all around, it moves just as straight toward its object as if it had rushed. 58. Look into the mind of everyone you deal with, and let your own mind be open to theirs. Book 9. 1. To act unjustly offends the sacred order. Nature made all rational creatures for one another, to help and never harm. Whoever breaks that design offends the oldest, most honored power there is. Nature is also truth itself. So the deliberate liar offends it, and so does the unwitting one, at odds with reality. So too does whoever chases pleasure as the real good, and flees pain as the real evil. For he must fault nature for dealing them out regardless of desert. To fear pain is to fear the inevitable. To chase pleasure is to turn unjust. Pleasure and pain, death and life, honor and dishonor, nature spends them all evenly. Meet them evenly. To treat any as more than it is falls out of step with the whole. 2. It would be best to leave this life having stayed clear of lying, pretense, indulgence, and pride. If you cannot, at least leave gladly, tired of these faults, rather than clinging to a life spent in them. Hasn't experience taught you to run from what infects you? A corrupt mind is a worse plague than any foul change in the air. One sickens creatures as animals, the other sickens us as human beings. 3. Don't meet death with contempt. Welcome it as one of nature's intentions. Growing up, aging, getting your teeth and grey hairs, fathering, giving birth, all belongs to the seasons of a life, and so does dissolving. A wise person waits for death calmly, as one more of nature's works, the way you wait for the child in the womb to be born. For plainer comfort, think of what you are leaving and the company you'll no longer keep. Don't resent them, be gentle. But remember, you are not parting from people who share your convictions. That alone might have kept you here. As it is, you see how wearing it is to live among people who think so differently. So you may as well say, "Come quickly, death, before I too forget myself." 4. The one who does wrong wrongs himself, since injustice makes him worse. And you can be unjust, not only by what you do, but by what you fail to do. 5. If I see the situation clearly, act with goodwill, and gladly accept whatever comes from God, that is enough. 6. Clear away illusion, think before acting, put out craving. Keep the mind its own master. 7. All unreasoning creatures share one kind of soul. All reasoning ones share a single rational soul, divided among them, just as there is one earth, one light, one air we breathe. Everything leans toward its own kind, earth to earth, water to water, fire to fire, and it takes force to hold them apart. So whatever shares in reason longs even more for its own kind, since reason is highest of all. Animals form herds. Rational beings built cities, friendships, families, and made treaties even in war. The distant stars hold a unity too. Only rational beings have forgotten this pull toward one another. Yet even as they flee it, nature catches them and wins. You will sooner find earth with no earth in it than a person who can truly live alone. 8. Everything bears fruit in its own way and season. Man, God, the world. We save the word for vines and such, but it holds for all. Reason bears fruit too, for others to use and for itself to enjoy. What it holds in itself, it plants in others, and so multiplies. 9. Either teach them better if you can, or if you cannot, remember that patience with them is exactly what your gentleness was given for. The gods themselves are patient with such people, even helping them toward health, wealth, and honor. Couldn't you be that generous too? What is stopping you? 10. Don't work as if you were doomed to misery, or as if you wanted pity or applause. Let your one aim be this: to act or hold back only as the good of the community requires. 11. Today I escaped all my trouble. No, I threw it out, for it was never outside me. It lived in my own judgments, and there it had to be cast out before I could be at peace. 12. All these things are ordinary and familiar in kind, brief in duration, and cheap in substance. They are exactly as they were in the days of the people we have buried. 13. The things that affect us stand outside the door. They know nothing of themselves and say nothing. So what passes judgment on them? Your own mind. 14. Virtue and vice live in action, not in feeling. So the real good or harm of a reasoning person lies in what he does, not in what he undergoes. 15. To the stone thrown into the air, coming down is no loss, just as going up was no gain. 16. Look into the minds of the people whose opinion you fear. See what they are, and what they think even of themselves. 17. Everything in the world is always changing. You are changing too, and decaying in part, and so is the whole world. 18. This is another man's fault, not yours. Why let it disturb you? Let him answer for it whose fault it is. 19. Every action, purpose, and opinion comes to an end, a kind of death, and there is no harm in that. Apply it to your life. Child, youth, young man, old man, each change is a small death, and none grieved you. Think back over the life you led under your grandfather, your mother, your father. Through all those endings, what grief did you find? If none, then none waits in the ending of your whole life, which is just one more change. 20. When you need help, turn quickly to one of three places: your own mind, so it decides nothing against justice; the mind of the whole, so you remember whose part you are; or the mind of the person before you, weighing whether he acts from ignorance or knowledge, and remembering he is your kin. 21. You were made to help complete a common society, as one of its members. So let every action serve the good of a shared life. Any action with no bearing on the common good, near or far, pulls life out of shape, like a citizen who breaks away and sets himself apart from the people. 22. A child's tantrums, nothing more. Poor souls carrying dead bodies, hoping not to drop them too soon, as the old dirge has it. 23. Go to the cause behind the effect. Strip it bare of its material and look at it alone. Then ask how long a cause of that kind can possibly last. 24. Endless troubles have come to you for one reason only. It never satisfied you that your mind should simply work according to its own nature. 25. When someone smears you with lies, hates you, or treats you badly, go straight to his mind and see what kind of man he is. You will find no real reason to care what he thinks of you. Yet care for him still, for by nature he is your friend. Even the gods help such people, through dreams and signs, in the things that matter to them. 26. The ordinary business of the world rolls on, age after age, always the same. Either the mind of the universe weighs each thing before it happens, so bow to so great a mind, or it decided everything once at the start, and all that follows, follows by necessity. In short, either there is a God, and all is well, or all is chance, and even then you can govern what is truly yours and be well. 27. Soon the earth will cover us all, and then the earth itself will change, on and on, through age after age, forever. Anyone who ponders these endless, swift waves of change can only look down on all worldly things. The cause of everything is like a raging torrent. It sweeps it all away. 28. And these career politicians, who fancy themselves the only real practical philosophers, so full of borrowed dignity, what wretched creatures they are. Man, why the fuss? Do what your nature asks right now, and never mind who notices. Don't expect Plato's perfect republic. If people improve even a little, be content. But do any of them drop their false opinions? Without that, their show is just the misery of slavish minds, groaning inwardly while pretending to obey reason. Remind me of Alexander, Philip, Demetrius. Whether they understood nature and ruled themselves, they know best. But if they only strutted and swaggered, I am glad I need not imitate them. True philosophy makes a person plain and modest. Don't push me toward vanity. 29. Look down as if from a high place. Crowds, sacrifices beyond counting, ships on rough seas and calm. Things coming into being and passing away, all their tangled connections. Think of the lives lived long ago, and those to come, the many nations who never heard your name, and how many who praise you now will soon forget you or turn against you. Fame and honor are not worth the effort, the whole of it. Accept whatever God sends, act justly in whatever you cause, and aim at nothing beyond doing good to others, which is what your nature requires. 30. Much of what crowds and cramps you exists only in your opinion, and it is in your power to cut it away. Do that, and you will have room to breathe. 31. Hold the whole world in your mind, and the whole span of time, and see how fast each thing changes, how short the stretch from a thing's birth to its dissolution, how vast the emptiness before and after. Everything you see will soon perish, and those who watch it perish will soon vanish too. The one who dies at 100 and the one who dies young come to the same place. 32. What are their minds, and what do they give themselves to? What do they love and hate? Imagine their souls laid open. When they think their insults wound and their praise blesses, see how full of conceit they are. 33. Loss and decay are really nothing but change, and change is what nature loves most. By it, everything is done, and done well. This has been the way of things from the start, and always will be. Would you rather say the world has gone wrong through all these ages, that among so many powers none could set it right, and that it stands condemned to endless misery? 34. How cheap and rotten the common stuff of things is, water, dust, and from their mixture the bones and the whole squalid frame of the body so quick to decay. And the things we prize, marble just knots in the earth, gold and silver its dregs, your royal robes, only the hair of a small animal dyed with a shellfish's blood. Even your life is a mere breath of blood, ready to change into something else. 35. Will this complaining and grumbling and pretending never end? What is troubling you? Has something new happened? What amazes you, the cause or the substance? Look at each alone. Is either really so heavy? Beyond those two there is nothing, and it is time you served the gods with more goodness and simplicity. 36. Whether you watch these things for 100 years or 3, it comes to the same. 37. If he has sinned, the harm is his, not mine. But perhaps he hasn't. 38. Either everything happens by reason's providence, each thing a part of one body, and then a part should not complain of what serves the whole, or it is all just atoms and confusion, and death only scattering, and then why trouble yourself at all? 39. Do you tell the reasoning part of you, you are dead, decay has taken you? Does reason then also rot, and graze like an ox, and turn mortal like the body? Surely not. 40. Either the gods can do nothing for you, or they can calm every distress of your mind. If nothing, why pray? If they can, why not pray for freedom from fear and craving, rather than for the things you fear and crave? Ask not to lose or keep, but to be neither grieved by loss nor moved by gain. You may say the gods left this to your own power. Then use that power to free your mind, rather than serve what you cannot control. And who says they will not help even there? Try and see. One man prays to bed a certain woman. You pray not to want her. One prays to be rid of someone, you to bear with him. One prays not to lose his child, you not to fear the loss. Aim every prayer that way and see what comes. 41. In his illness, Epicurus wrote, he did not dwell on his disease with visitors, but kept his mind on what mattered most, how the mind, though it shares the body's suffering, can still stay untroubled and keep its own happiness. He did not hand himself to the doctors as if everything depended on them, for his present state contented him well. So in sickness or any hardship, keep your mind as he kept his. Don't abandon your philosophy for anything that happens, and don't heed shallow people who know only the surface of things. 42. Every trade has this in common. It attends only to the work in hand and the tool it works with. 43. When someone's shamelessness offends you, ask, can the world have no shameless people in it? It cannot, so don't demand the impossible. This man is one of them, as are the sly and the treacherous. Remembering they must exist makes you gentler, and nature gave you a virtue to meet each fault. Kindness against the ungrateful, and so on down the list. Usually you can set a mistaken man straight, for whoever sins misses his own mark. How are you the worse for it? He has not harmed your mind, the only place real harm can reach. Why be surprised that an ignorant man acts ignorantly? Blame yourself for not foreseeing it. And if you fault his ingratitude, the fault is yours. You either trusted him wrongly or failed to treat your own good deed as its own reward. You helped a fellow human being, must you be paid on top of it? As well have the eye demand payment for seeing. You were born to do good. In doing it, you have your whole reward. Book 10. 1. My soul, I hope the day comes when you are good, simple and whole, more visible than the body that wraps you, when your whole aim is love, no longer clutching at worldly things. When you are so full you need nothing outside yourself, chasing no pleasure, begging for no time or place or favor from anyone. You will be content with what you have, trusting it all comes from the gods for your good, and sure of the future too. Then you will live among gods and men without complaint, doing nothing they could rightly condemn. 2. You are governed by nature, so notice what your whole nature asks. If acting on it will not harm your nature as a living creature, act. Then see what your nature as a feeling creature needs and do it, so long as it does no harm to your reasoning nature, and whatever is reasonable is also social. Hold to these rules and do not fret over trifles. 3. Whatever happens, by your makeup you are either able to bear it or not. If you can, do not resent it. Carry it as your nature allows. If you truly cannot, still do not resent it, for it will finish you and itself at once. But if you decide, with a clear sense of duty and benefit, that a thing is bearable, then you are built to bear it. 4. When someone does wrong, teach him gently and show him his mistake. If you cannot, blame yourself. Or better, blame no one, so long as you honestly tried. 5. Whatever happens to you was set for you from the beginning. The same chain of causes that shaped your existence also shaped what would befall you. 6. Either blind atoms are behind everything, as Epicurus said, or a nature governs. Start here. You are part of a universe ruled by nature, and kin to every part like you. As a part, I will never resent my share of events, since nothing that serves the whole can harm a part. Nature can be compelled by no force, and breeds nothing meant to hurt herself. And as kin to my own kind, I will aim at the common good, and do nothing against the community. Live so, like a citizen devoted to his city and content with it, and you will live happily. 7. Everything in the world must eventually break down. Change is the truer word. If this is both harmful and unavoidable, would the whole be well arranged, its parts forever perishing? Did nature plan her parts' misery, or not know what she was doing? Both are absurd. And how foolish to admit all parts must change, then gasp when one does, when a person sickens and dies. Whatever dissolves returns to what made it. Elements into elements, the solid into earth, the fine into air. Nothing is lost. All returns to the seeds of the universe, which either burns away or renews itself endlessly. And your body is not what you were born with. It flowed in days ago from food and air. So the recent matter, not your mother's, is what meets change. 8. You have taken up the names good, modest, and true. Clear-minded, cooperative, above it all. Never lose your right to them. If you slip, return at once. Clear-minded is to weigh each thing attentively. Cooperative, to accept gladly whatever the common nature sends. Above it all, to rise past pain and pleasure, honor and death as weightless. Keep them, not craving that others use them, and you become a new man. To go on torn and troubled is the mark of a fool too fond of living, like a wretch in the arena begging for one more day of the same claws and teeth. So escape into these names and live joyfully. If you slip, retreat to a quiet corner, or failing that, leave life calmly, not in passion, as the one fine act of your life. And remember the gods often, they ask not flattery, but that we become like them, doing what our nature requires, as the fig tree, the dog, and the bee each do what suits their kind. 9. Silly amusements at home, wars abroad, now terror, now dull sloth. This is your daily bondage. Little by little, if you are careless, those sacred teachings fade. How many things do you glance at and let slip without use? Join action with reflection, keeping the deep pleasure of understanding each thing's nature. When will you reach the happiness of real simplicity and quiet dignity, delighting in what each thing is made of, what it is for, how long it lasts, and who can give it or take it away? 10. The spider is proud when it catches a fly, the hunter when he nets a hare or a boar, the soldier when he beats the northern tribes. But look into their minds. What are these famous warriors but hunters chasing prey? 11. Find a steady method of reflection that lets you see clearly how all things change, one into another. Keep it always before you and practice it well. Nothing does more to build greatness of soul. 12. Freed from the pull of his body, knowing he must soon leave the world, a man gives himself wholly to justice in his actions, and to the common nature in all that befalls him. Content to act rightly and welcome whatever God sends, he pays no mind to what others say or do. He walks straight where reason leads, and by that follows God. That is his one occupation. 13. What use is suspicion or distrust about the future? If you can see what to do now, look into that, and never mind the rest. If you see it clearly alone, let no one turn you aside. If not, pause and take advice from the best. And if something blocks you, go on carefully with what the moment allows, aiming at what seems most right. To hit that mark is the only real success, and to miss it, the only real failure. 14. What is slow yet quick, cheerful yet serious? The one who takes reason as his guide in all things. 15. In the morning, the moment you wake, before feelings and outside things have colored your judgment, ask, does it matter whether a just deed is done by me, or, when I cannot, by someone else? It does not. And as for people obsessed with praise or blame, remember what kind of men they are, and what they steal, if not with hands, then with their minds, which could instead enjoy faith, modesty, truth, and justice. 16. Give what you will and take what you will, says the man who is well taught and truly humble, to the one who gives and takes. He says it not from defiance, but from pure love and gentle trust. 17. Live as detached from the world as a man alone on a deserted hill. Here or there, it makes no difference, for the whole world is but one town. Let them see a real man, living by the true nature of man. If they cannot stand me, let them kill me. Better to die than to live as they would have me live. 18. Stop debating what makes a good man. Just be one. 19. Keep before your eyes the vast age of the world and the whole of its substance. Against that, each thing is as small as a seed, and its span is one turn of the pestle in the mortar. Then see each object as it truly is, already dissolving, sliding toward its own decay. 20. Watch people through all they do. When they eat and sleep, relieve themselves and mate, or scold from some high seat at the height of their pride. Recall how they had to grovel to get there, and how soon death will take them. 21. What the common nature sends to each is best for that one, and best exactly when she sends it. 22. The earth, the poet says, often longs for the rain, and the sky longs to fall upon it, a mutual love. And so the world loves whatever comes to pass. So I say to the world, your longing shall be mine. 23. Either you go on with this same life you are used to and can bear, or you withdraw from the world by your own choice, or your life is cut off and your task is done. One of these must happen, so take heart. 24. Solitude and deserted places, so prized by many, are nothing special in themselves. Everything is the same everywhere, in a town or on a mountaintop. Carry Plato's shepherd's hut with you anywhere. Shut yourself away as if on a hilltop and ask, what is my ruling part? What state is it in now, and what am I using it for? Is it empty of reason? Is it free, or so fused with the flesh that it moves with the body's urges? 25. A man who runs from his master is a runaway. The law is every man's master, so whoever forsakes it is a runaway. And so is anyone who feels sorrow, anger, or fear at what the governor of the universe has appointed. For he alone is the true law, dispensing to each of us all that happens. 26. From a man comes the seed, and once it is cast into the womb, he has no more part in it. Another cause takes over and brings a child to completion, a wonder from such a beginning. So too the food he swallows. Once it is down, another cause turns it into senses, feelings, life, and strength. Contemplate these hidden workings and the power behind them, seen as plainly by the mind as the eye sees what pushes a thing down or lifts it. 27. Keep in mind how all things now have been much the same before and will be again. Set whole scenes before your eyes, the lives of men of one kind, from your experience or from history, the courts of Hadrian, of Alexander, of Croesus. All the same play, only the actors change. 28. Picture everyone who grieves over some worldly thing as a squealing pig with its throat cut. So too the man who lies alone on his bed, bewailing our mortal lot. Remember, only reasoning creatures can submit to providence willingly. Bare submission is forced on all creatures alike. 29. Whatever you are about to do, ask yourself, is death really so dreadful, just because it means I will do this no more? 30. When someone's fault offends you, turn to yourself and ask what you are guilty of in the same way. Perhaps you too counted happiness to be rich or comfortable or praised. Recall this, and your anger fades, especially when you see he acts under the force of his ignorance and cannot do otherwise while he holds that opinion. So free him, if you can, from what compels him. 31. When you see a man, think of his equals now gone. Look at yourself and picture one of the Caesars, and for everyone some equal from the past. Then ask, where are they all now? Nowhere at all. So you see how worldly things are smoke that vanishes. Remember too that whatever changes never returns as it was. And you, How long will you last? Why is it not enough to pass your small span with virtue and grace? 32. What a life it is that you long to be rid of, yet all of it is fit material for an understanding that sees each thing as it truly is and works upon it. So be patient. Like a great fire, turning all fuel into flame and light, make these things your own. 33. Let no man truly say, you are not simple, sincere, and good. Let doubters be wrong. This rests with you, for who can stop you from being good? Resolve rather not to live than fail to be such. Whatever is right to do or say now is in your power, so make no excuses. You will keep groaning until virtue becomes your pleasure, which every place allows. Water, fire, a rolling cylinder, all meet obstacles. But the mind, by its nature, passes through everyone and holds straight on. Every other so-called hindrance is of the body or of opinion when reason lets itself be beaten. In itself it does no harm, else it would worsen you. Instead, a man is bettered by handling such things well. And nothing harms a citizen that does not harm his city, nor the city what does not harm the law. So these mishaps harm neither. 34. As a man bitten by a mad dog then fears everything, so the man whom true teaching has bitten finds in nearly everything a reminder to free him from grief and fear. The poet says, the winds shake the trees and the leaves fall, then they bud again in spring. So it is with men. Some are born, others pass away. Your children are those leaves, so are those who applaud or mock you, and those who will remember your name after you are gone. All are leaves, put forth for a season, then blown down, while others grow in their place. To last a little while is common to all. Why chase these things or flee them as if they were forever? Soon your eyes will close, and another will mourn the one who carries you to your grave. 35. A good eye must see whatever there is to see, not just green things. Craving only green is the mark of a sore eye. A good stomach grinds all food like a millstone. So a sound mind must be ready for whatever happens. But the man who cries, "May my children live, and all men praise me," is an eye hungry only for green. 36. No one dies so beloved that no one at his bedside is glad of it. Even of a wise and virtuous man, someone will think, "At last I am free of this schoolmaster. He was easy enough, but I felt him judging us." And how many more would gladly be rid of the rest of us? Think of this when you die, and you will go more willingly. I leave a world where even my nearest friends, the ones I cared for, would have me gone, hoping to live easier without me. Why cling to such a place, yet love them no less for it? Stay there, friend, be gentle, but do not cling to life. As an easy death slips quickly from the body, so let your parting be. Nature bound me to them, and now she unbinds us. I go without struggle, for this too is according to nature. 37. Train yourself whenever you see anyone act to ask at once, what is this man's aim in doing this? But begin with yourself and examine closely everything you do. 38. Remember, what sets a man in motion and steers his feelings is not any outside thing, but what lies hidden within, his judgments and opinions. That is his life, his true self. As for your body, the case that wraps you, and its clever instruments, do not let them trouble you. Of themselves, they are like a carpenter's axe, only born with us. Without the inner cause that moves or restrains them, these parts are no more use than the pen without the writer, or the whip without the driver. Book 11. 1. A rational soul can do this. It sees itself, orders itself, makes itself whatever it chooses. It gathers its own fruit, while plants and animals yield theirs to others. Whenever its life ends, it is complete, unlike a dancer, whose act is ruined if cut off part way. Wherever it stops, it can make what it was doing whole, and leave saying, "I have had my life. Nothing I truly owned is missing." It ranges over the whole world, sees through the hollow surface of things, and stretches into endless time. It knows all things recur in cycles, that those after us see nothing new and those before saw nothing more. So a man of 40, with any sense, has already seen all that ever was or will be. This soul loves its neighbour, values truth and modesty, and holds nothing dearer than living rightly. Reason and justice are one, so justice is the chief aim a rational being should set for itself. 2. A song, a dance, an athlete's feat, anything that grips you. Break the song into its separate notes and ask of each, "Is this what overpowers me?" You will be embarrassed to say yes. Do the same with the dance, motion by motion, and with the athlete. With anything but virtue, break it into parts and learn to think little of the whole. Apply this to your whole life too. 3. What a fine thing when the soul stands ready, this very moment, to be released from the body, whether snuffed out, scattered, or continuing elsewhere. But this readiness must come from your own clear judgment, made with dignity, so it persuades others by example. Not from stubborn defiance, and not with loud outcries. 4. Have I done something kind? Then I have already gained by it. Keep this before you always. What is your calling? To be good. And how, except through certain truths, some about the nature of the whole, some about what a human being is meant to be. 5. Tragedies were first staged to remind us that misfortunes happen, that this is how nature runs. So what moved you in the theatre would not crush you in life. Even those who wail to the mountains must still endure. The poets say fine things. If the gods neglect me and my children, there is a reason even for that. It does no good to rage at the way things are. Reap your life like a ripe ear of grain. After tragedy came old comedy, free to mock vices and keep people humble. And Diogenes borrowed that frankness. The later comedy is mostly clever imitation for pleasure, with good points, but that is its whole aim. 6. How plainly it appears that no way of life could suit a true philosopher better than the very one you are living now. 7. A branch cut from the branch beside it is cut from the whole tree. A man cut off from another is cut off from the whole community. But a branch is severed by someone else, while a man cuts himself off by hating and turning away, not seeing he splits from the whole. Here is the gift of the God who made this fellowship. Once cut off, we can grow back and rejoin. But if it happens too often, the break grows harder to heal, and the branch grafted back, any gardener will tell you, is never quite like the one that grew there from the start. 8. Grow together with others in goodwill, though not in shared opinions. When people oppose you in doing right, they cannot turn you from the good act, so do not let them turn you from good feeling toward them. Hold steady in both. To quit your act out of fear, or to drop affection for one who is your kin by nature, is equally low, worthy of a deserter. 9. No nature can be inferior to art, since all art imitates nature. So the most perfect nature of all cannot fall short of mere craftsmen. Every craft makes lesser things serve better ends, and so does universal nature. This is the root of justice, and from justice all other virtues grow. Justice cannot stand if we fix our hearts on worldly things, or are easily fooled, rash and unsteady. 10. The things you take such trouble to gain or avoid do not come to you. In a way, you go to them. So let your judgment about them rest quiet. The things themselves stand still and silent. Then all this chasing and fleeing will stop. 11. The soul becomes like a perfect sphere when it holds one steady form, neither straining greedily after anything nor shrinking and lying dejected, but shining with a light by which it sees the truth of all things and of itself. 12. Will someone look down on me? Let him see to his reasons. My care is never to be caught doing or saying anything that truly deserves contempt. Will someone hate me? Let him see to that. I will be kind to everyone, even the one who hates me, ready to show him gently where he goes wrong, honestly. Not to parade my patience, this must be inward, so the gods who look inward see a man free of resentment. What harm can anyone do you, as long as you act in keeping with your own nature? Will you not accept what suits the nature of the whole right now? 13. They look down on one another, yet try to please one another. They scramble to outdo one another in status, while debasing themselves before one another in their better part. 14. How false is the man who says, I have decided to be open and simple with you from now on. There is no need to announce it. The thing itself should show written on your face, plain the moment you speak, the way the beloved reads everything in a lover's eyes. The truly good man is unmistakable. A show of simplicity is worthless, and nothing is more shameful than false friendship. Avoid it above all. Real goodness cannot be hidden. It shows in the eyes and face. 15. Living well is an inner power of the soul, when it stays indifferent to things that are by nature indifferent. To do this, consider each object both in its parts and as a whole. No object forces an opinion on us, it stands outside, still and quiet. We ourselves stamp the opinions on ourselves, and we have the power not to, and to wipe away any that slip in. Remember, too, that this watchfulness lasts only a short while, then your life is over. If things fit nature, welcome them gladly. If they are against nature, seek what fits your own nature and pursue it with all speed, credit or no credit. No one should be blamed for seeking his own good. 16. Of everything, ask where it came from, what it is made of, and what it changes into, knowing it takes no harm from the change. When others' folly or malice troubles you, run through this. First, we are made for one another, and I was born to lead them, as a ram leads the flock. And if atoms do not rule the world, a governing nature does, and the lesser serves the greater. Second, notice how their own opinions drive them, and what they are like off their guard. Third, if they act rightly, I have no grievance. If wrongly, they err unwillingly, through ignorance, for no soul errs by choice. Fourth, I too go wrong often, held back from some sins only by fear or vanity. Fifth, I cannot even be sure they sinned, knowing so little of their reasons. Sixth, life lasts a moment, and soon we all lie in the grave. Seventh, it is not the wrong that troubles me, but my opinion of it. Drop the notion that it is dreadful, since only the shameful is truly evil, and the anger is gone. Eighth, worse harms follow from anger than from what angered me. Ninth, gentleness, when true, cannot be beaten. Even as a man wrongs me, I can calmly teach him better. Say, my son, we were not made to harm each other. You hurt yourself more than me, and show him kindly, for him alone, that not even bees do this. And a tenth from Hercules. It is madness to expect no wicked men. To accept they exist, yet refuse to bear their wrongs against you, is the mark of a tyrant. Keep these in mind and begin, while still alive, to be a real man. Guard as much against flattering people as raging at them. Anger is not manly. Gentleness is, and holds a strength anger lacks. Grief and anger both come from weakness, a wound surrendered to. 17. There are 4 faulty leanings of the mind to catch and correct. Say of each, this thought is not needed. This one is unkind. This one is not mine. I only echo another's words. And for the 4th, rebuke yourself sharply for letting the diviner part in you bow to the baser part, the body and its coarse desires. 18. Whatever air or fire is in you, though it naturally rises, submits to the order of the whole and stays in this mixed body. Whatever earth and water is in you, though it naturally sinks, is held up in place. So obedient are the elements, staying where they are put against their tendency until the signal to retreat. Is it not shameful, then, that only your reasoning part should refuse to keep its place, when nothing contrary to its nature is even asked of it? Any motion of the mind toward injustice, excess, grief, or fear is a desertion of nature. And when the mind resents what Providence sends, it also leaves its post. For it was made for reverence, humble trust in the divine order, and for justice, the duties of social beings, and the source of all just action. 19. A man who does not hold one and the same aim throughout his life cannot stay one and the same man. But you must add what that aim should be. The crowd's ideas of good are shifting and cannot agree. Only what is bound by the good of the community holds steady. Let nothing be counted good that is not good for all. Make your aim shared and social, direct all your private purposes to it, and all your acts will be in harmony, and you will stay the same man. 20. Remember the fable of the country mouse and the city mouse, and the fright the city mouse was thrown into. 21. Socrates used to call the common opinions of men bugbears, the sort of terror fit only to scare foolish children. 22. At their public games, the Spartans set out seats in the shade for their guests, and were content to sit anywhere. 23. When Perdiccas asked why Socrates had not come to him, Socrates said he did not want to die the worst of deaths, that is, to receive a kindness and be unable to repay it. 24. In the old sacred writings of the Ephesians, there was a rule to keep always in mind someone of the ancient good men. 25. The Pythagoreans, first thing each morning, would look up at the sky, to remind themselves of the stars that do their work constantly and unchanged, and to recall order, purity, and plain simplicity. For no star wears any cover. 26. Think of how Socrates looked when he had to wrap himself in a hide, since Xanthippe, his wife, had taken his clothes and gone out, and what he said to his friends, who were embarrassed and stepped back at the sight of him. 27. In reading or writing, you must be taught before you can do either, far more so in living. You are born a mere slave to your senses and raw impulses, left without teaching, lacking all true knowledge and sound reason. 28. My heart smiled within me. They will accuse even virtue herself with harsh and abusive words. 29. Like those who crave figs in winter when none can be had, so are those who long for a child before one is given. 30. As often as a father kisses his child, Epictetus said, he should whisper, "Tomorrow perhaps you will die." Ill-omened words? No, he said, no word is ill-omened that names something natural, no more than reap the grapes when they are ripe. Green grapes, ripe grapes, raisins, so many changes of one thing, not into nothing, but into what is not yet. 31. Of the free will there is no thief. From Epictetus. And this, that we should find a method of giving assent, and always watch the impulses of our minds, so they are held with proper restraint, always kind, matched to the true worth of each thing before us. That we should drop all craving and turn away only from what depends on our own will. Our whole struggle, believe it, is not over petty matters, but over whether we are mad like the crowd, or, by philosophy, sane and sober. 32. Socrates said, "What do you want, the souls of rational or irrational creatures?" Rational. But which, those whose reason is sound, or those whose reason is corrupted? Sound. Then why do you not work for them? Because we have them already. Then why all this striving among you? Book 12. 1. Everything you hope to reach someday, you can have now, if you stop blocking yourself. Let go of the past, trust the future to providence, and turn to doing right. Welcome whatever nature sends as meant for you, speak truth, act fairly. Ignore others' malice and your body's aches. What suffers can mind itself. When your hour comes, let go and honor only your mind. Fear not that life ends, but that you never began to live by nature. Then you are at home in the world you came from, no stranger to daily events, done clinging to what is not yours to control. 2. God sees our minds bare of their fleshly shells, reaching our cleanest part, which flowed from him. Do the same and shed much baggage. A man careless of body, clothes, and house finds peace. You are three things: body, breath, and mind. The first two are yours to tend. The third alone is truly yours. Cut away all others do or say, all you once did, all future worry, all outside your will. Keep it free and ready to depart, doing justice, accepting what comes, speaking truth. Be like Empedocles' sphere, whole and round, content with the present. Then you live undisturbed, at peace with the spirit within. 3. I have often wondered why every man loves himself most, yet trusts others' opinion of him above his own. If a god made you speak each thought aloud the moment it formed, you could not bear it a day. So we fear our neighbour's judgment more than our own. 4. Strange that the gods arranged all so well, yet seem to miss one thing. Some truly good people, close to the divine through holy lives, are snuffed out at death, never restored. But be sure, had keeping such souls alive been more just, nature would have done it. Since it did not, it was not fitting. See how freely you argue with God here. You would not dare unless the gods were supremely just and good, and being so, they overlooked nothing in making the world. 5. Train yourself even in what you first despair of. The left hand, idle from disuse, grips the reins more firmly than the right, because it has practiced that one thing. So, reflect often what you should be when death arrives, the shortness of life, the vast time before and after, the frailty of all things seen with the disguise stripped away. Consider what causes things, what actions aim at, what pain, pleasure, and death really are, that each man is the ground of his own peace, hindered by no one, that all is opinion. In using your principles, be a boxer, not a swordsman. Lose the sword and you are done, but the boxer always has his hand. 7. Look at every worldly thing by dividing it into its matter, its form, and its purpose. 8. How fortunate a person is, given the power to do only what God approves, and to accept gladly whatever God sends. 9. When things happen in the natural course, blame no one, not the gods, who never err, not people, who go wrong only through ignorance against their real will. So blame no one. 10. How absurd is the man amazed at anything that happens in the natural course of life. 11. Either it is fate, whether rigid necessity, or a providence you can move by prayer, or all is blind chaos. If necessity, why resist? If a providence you can reach, make yourself worthy of its help. If chaos, be glad you still have a mind to steer your life in the flood. And if the flood takes you, it takes your body and breath, not your mind. The candle stays bright until put out. Shall truth, justice, and self-control go dark in you while you live? 12. When you think someone has sinned, ask, how do I know it was really a sin? And if it was, perhaps he has already condemned himself like a man clawing his own face, deserving pity, not anger. To wish a bad man would not sin is like wishing the fig had no juice. Given his nature, what else can he do? If it troubles you, cure his fault if you can. 13. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Keep your own judgment free. 14. With everything that comes, ask what it truly is. Unfold it into its form, its matter, its purpose, and how long it is set to last. 15. It is high time you saw there is something in you better and more divine than passion and appetite. What rules my mind now? Fear, suspicion, craving? Do nothing without a purpose, and let your only purpose be the common good. Soon you will be gone, and so will all you see, and everyone living. All things change and pass, so others may take their place. 16. Remember, everything is opinion, and opinion rests in your mind. Take the opinion away, and like a ship slipped inside the harbour mouth, you find sudden calm, a bay no storm can reach. 17. No action is harmed merely by ending, nor is the one who did it. So your life, the sum of your actions, is not harmed by stopping, nor are you wronged by its end. Its timing is set by nature, sometimes your own, as when a man dies old, but always the whole, whose changing parts keep the world fresh. What serves the whole is best and timely. Death harms no one, not shameful, not in our control, not against the common good. And it comes by providence. So the man whose will runs with the divine order, carried by God himself, is rightly called divinely inspired. 18. Keep three things ready. First, in your actions, do nothing aimless or unjust. And what happens to you comes by chance or providence, so blaming either is senseless. Second, remember what a body is from conception to its last breath, its makeup and its dissolution. Third, look down from above on all earthly things and their churning, and see how empty and brief they are. These are what we puff ourselves up about. 19. Throw away opinion and you are safe. What stops you? When grieved, have you forgotten that all things follow the nature of the whole, that the fault touches only the one at fault, that what happens now has always happened and always will, everywhere, that all people are bound not by blood, but by shared mind, every mind issuing from the divine, that no one owns anything, not even his child or body or life, and all is opinion. No one lives more than the present instant, and loses no more than that when he dies. 20. Think of people once burning with outrage, once at the peak of honour or ruin or feud, and ask what became of it all. Smoke, ashes, an old story, maybe not even that. Recall names like Fabius Catulinus in his fields, Lucius Lupus, Statinius at Baiae, Tiberius at Capri, their fierce striving over trifles. See how petty such passions are, and how much finer to be just and moderate in each matter, following the gods simply. To be proud of not being proud is the most unbearable pride of all. 21. When people ask where you have seen the gods, or how you know they exist, answer, they are, in a way, visible to the eye. I have never seen my own soul either, yet I honour it. From the daily proof of their power and care for me and others, I know they exist and worship them. 22. Here is where a good life lies. To know the true nature of each thing, its matter and form. To do what is just with your whole heart, and to speak the truth. What remains but to enjoy life as one good action follows another, with no gap between? 23. There is one light of the sun, though walls and mountains break it up. One common substance, though carved into countless bodies. One common soul, though split into countless natures. One thinking soul, though it seems divided. Lower, merely sensitive things have no bond with one another. But every reasoning mind is drawn to its own kind, and longs to unite, and this bond cannot be broken like the rest. 24. What do you want? To live long? To keep feeling with your senses, wanting with your appetite, growing, then decaying, talking and reasoning? Which is worth wanting? If none amounts to much, reach for the last thing, to follow God and reason in all. To grieve that death takes the rest goes against both. 25. What a tiny slice of endless time is given each of us. How quickly it vanishes into the age of the world. What a small share of the common substance and soul is yours. On what a little clod of earth you crawl. Weigh this, and count nothing important except doing what your own nature asks, and accepting what the common nature gives. 26. What is the present state of my mind? That is what matters. All else lies outside my will, and so is dead to me, mere smoke. 27. One thing that breeds contempt for death, even those who called pleasure the good and pain the evil, often faced it unafraid. Can death frighten a man to whom only the timely is good, indifferent whether he sees the world's same round for many years or few? You have lived as a citizen of this great city, the world. Whether 50 years or 5, you lived as long as its law required. Why grieve if the same nature that brought you in now sends you out? No tyrant or unjust judge, but like a magistrate dismissing a hired actor. But I have played only 3 acts, not 5. True, yet in life 3 acts can be the whole play. He who arranged your beginning arranges your end, neither is your concern. Go in peace, for the one who dismisses you is at peace. That was Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. All 12 books, rendered in plain modern English from the public domain translations. If it helped, it will help more the second time. Most people who love this book return to it again and again. The full read-along text is on screen, and the chapter timestamps are in the description, so you can come back to any book anytime. If you want more classics made this easy to listen to, subscribe and tell us in the comments which book we should render next.